Hello, and welcome back to Tyron Qbert. I know it's technically Tyron, A Journey of the Arcane. I've been so stoked to see where this goes. This is small summary. Also, by the way, hello, then Shadow and Holy. I think, yeah, that's all the people that are currently active. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. You gifted me things. I still don't know how to handle that. But I'm doing okay, Shadow. How are you? I hope you're well. Yeah. I wasn't feeling so hot yesterday. I had pretty heavy day. And then a friend of mine told me, hey, remember the Good Omens show that you told me about? You really liked? Like, yeah. And like, well, there's season 2 now. I'm like, wait, there's season 2? Finally. So I've been watching some episodes of Good Omens, like in the evening, and it really made my day better. And I can't wait to watch the rest of them because I really enjoy the show. I'm doing good. Yeah, I finally got started on Baldur's Gate 3. Ooh, how are you liking it? Can my PC? I assume, but I don't have it. Huh, I googled cute detective Alan here. I'm not cute. I need a better detective thing. Like a cool coat and a hat. So far I like it. Wait, hold up. Holy, what are you? You already gifted me 5 gift subs. I'm concerned. You're not gonna give me Baldur's Gate 3. Like my outlet, my man, my buddy, friendo, pal. That's a lot of money to spend. I promise whenever people give me games, I will try my best to play them on stream. That will go for this one too. That is really something you want to see. Like, I at the very least be a little bit selfish about games you give to me, because then I can like entertain you with them. But also that's a lot of monies, and you've already spent a lot of monies. So like, factory magic. That one would be even more dangerous to give to me. In any case, let's see what is happening. Carry on. We're definitely lost. You followed Lord Steelwind's directions to the letter. Also gonna be right back. Alright. Yes, you're cute, dude. I'm not cute. And I'm glad you like it so far. But it appears you found yourself in the ruins of an old city rather than the estate of the Archduke. Well, maybe he lives here. So that doesn't look good. I don't understand. This should be the place. The map even has that giant tree north of here. This can't be the city of Ledon that Virgile mentioned. It doesn't look like anyone's lived here in centuries. But Lord Steelwind's directions were pretty straightforward, so why are we... Wait a minute. Did he give us the wrong location on purpose? Please, what kind of dishonorable cretin do you take me for? Lord Steelwind. What are the two standing around here for? I think there needs to be you in there. What are the two of you standing around here for? The trial will be starting shortly. He's not alone either. He's flanked by a division of the Kingsguard and Arya. But it's difficult to tell if they're escorting her or keeping watch over her. You can see one of the knights channeling a spell over Arya. It must be an anti-magic field. Even now, she must still be worried about someone taking control of her mind. Which is, I think, a reasonable reaction. You were puppeteered to murder some people. I would be scared of someone puppeteering me again as well. Welcome back. Wait, this is where we'll be hosting the trial? Yes, the Archduke has always been sentimental about this place. It is pretty. nice drawn, but it is also indeed looking like ruins. Oh my goodness. I just got a gift. You didn't. You didn't. You can't. You didn't. You didn't. I'm checking it. You Steam? Steam, I need to see what just happened. Gave me a little pop-up in the bottom right corner that I got a gift, but it's not showing me stuff. Steam? Usually it like gives a proper pop-up of, hey, you got this game. It's not doing that. Steam, I need to check something real bad. It's not giving me the pop-up. The heck, Steam? I'm very scared that Holy Neville just check my Steam notifications. I'm trying to, but it's not letting me. Okay, wait. There we go. Oh my goodness. You mad? Are you sure? So he just gave me Baldur's Gate 3 and the DLC. Are you sure? Like, if I think you can get your money back if I decline. Like, are you really sure about this? Because that's a lot of money. And it is very, very kind of you. Like, don't get me wrong, I really appreciate it. But are you gonna be okay? I guess we have found our game that we'll play like after we finish this game. I guess. I'm gonna leave that for a moment until I get yes, I'm sure. Just yeah, but thank you. Just yeah. Shh. Okay, I'll interpret that as an yes, I'm sure this is my money and I decide what to do with it. Thank you so much. Like, I am lacking words right now. I'm trying really hard, but I'm not finding the words right now to thank you properly. Because thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate it. I guess we will be doing a blind playthrough after this of Baldur's Gate 3. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can only say thank you, and I feel like I need to say it at least 100 more times, but that would be a very boring stream. So let's focus on trying to get Arya out of this situation, and yeah, and thank you. I'm really happy, and I'm really flustered. So, gosh, thank you again. I've said it too much now, haven't I? I'll just try to get back to the game. Okay. Yeah, the Archduke has always been sentimental about this place. Okay. And I doubt a normal courtroom would have enough space. Because I tapped, the game is like, I have the bar of my windows at the bottom. Could we hide that? There we go. I don't want the Windows bar all the time there. Have a nice lurk. Also, space for what? What? I really don't know what possessed him to trust you. It's a miracle he's even taking part in this at all. But nevertheless, let's not keep him waiting. Before you can ask him to elaborate, he walks past you and heads towards one of the central buildings. It's completely dilapidated. You're a little worried it might collapse on you while you're in it. You look at the prosecutor and raise an eyebrow at her. But she merely shakes her head. It's clear she's just as lost as you are. Alright, I guess we're doing this. I guess we are. The ruins are filled with everyone who wants to... The ruins are filled with everyone who was at the Grand Cathedral that day. And they all seem to be just as out of the loop as you are. The only person who seems to be unfazed by this entire situation is Lord Steelwind. Ooh, angle shot. He's taken his position at the opposite end of the room. It seems that he truly plans on prosecuting his daughter. Thank you all for coming here today. I only have one voice for big male guy that's trying to lower my own. I appreciate your cooperation with our investigation. Why have you brought us here? This place is filthy. It's crawling with insects and vermin. Where are they standing on? This doesn't look like there's a... My apologies, but what happened here today must be kept under wraps for now. Ooh, he is not looking too happy. Nice stonework. I had to choose a location that was away from modern civilization. But nevertheless, I welcome you all to my home. Is he a dragon? Is he a straight up dragon? Just like suddenly feeling, is he like secretly the dragon? Wait, you live here? I do. Tyrion, buddy, pal, friendo. Hey. How about we don't insult the judge? Your Grace, I know you wouldn't bring us here unless you were completely certain. But I want to ask you one last time. Is this truly what you wish to do? There will be no going back after this. What? I've made many mistakes in my lifetime. I gave Wyvern the means to protect themselves, but all I did was warp them into something monstrous. He is the dragon! He is the dragon! I grew bitter seeing what I'd created, so I isolated myself from my people. I thought my best course of action would be to stay in seclusion and leave Wyvern to fend for themselves. I see now what a fool I was. He is the dragon! I abandoned my kin to survive in an unjust world. And now foreign powers have ingrained themselves in my kingdom. All because of my negligence. Foreign powers? Does he still suspect that you're an agent of the theocracy? Well, no more. He is the dragon! It's time that the people of Wyvern and their enemies remember who watches over them. He is the dragon! As he raises his hand, magic begins to swirl around him. He is the dragon! What's going on? Tyrone, he's the dragon! Come on! The entire room is violently shaking. Whatever he's casting, it's unlike any magic you've ever seen before. He's a dragon! A blinding light envelops him, but you can faintly see his form changing. It's expanding, and from it... Wait, is that... a dragon? Dragon buddy! What? It's a dragon! As the Archduke assumes his true form, the gallery breaks out into hysteria. Oh, look at him, all regal. Some of them kneel in reverence to the ancient dragon, and some of them cower in absolute terror. Understandable reaction. It's a big dog. It's a big dragon. I like dragons. Dragons are cool. They drew them cool. You even see some of them attempt to flee before they're stopped by the knights in the King's Guard. Also not an unreasonable reaction. It's a big pet. I don't think he'd appreciate that, but yeah, I want a pat. Enough. This may not be a court, but I will have order. You're an ancient dragon. Come on, Tyrion. Get up to speed. No, you're the last ancient dragon. That is correct, Heavensborn. I am the Lord of all lords. You all stand before Ratalion, the skilled lord. So that's why they were telling us how old he was. It must be really difficult to draw a dragon in a sitting position. Like, front facing. Well, time to sue gold. Nah, he's gonna be the judge. Doesn't care if he doesn't like it. I want to pet him. I mean, same. Was asleep, woke up wondering who the heck pinged me, saw that it was this, and got out of bed like a zombie in a horror movie. Well, there's dragons now. Remus Virgile is an alias I assumed when I walk amongst your kind. But make no mistake, even in my human form, I have always had the strength of an ancient dragon. Until now, only the lords of the House Steelwind and the kings of Wyverngard have known my true identity. But I will hide no longer. My will alone will determine how this trial ends. I wonder if Ratalion is still alive, like you said. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Eris knew. Despite everything, Arcanium's constitution still includes him in our government. Wait, really? As the savior of our kingdom, he was given an honorary position on our political hierarchy. His authority technically rivals that of the king. So that's why you were acting as the arbiter. You're the only person with the authority to convict any and all of the nobles here. Make no mistake, Mr. Cubert. I will remain impartial regardless of what transpires here. I will not interfere in this trial, nor will I try to manipulate its outcome. I will only mediate its proceedings. And pass judgment when necessary. Well, that's certainly terrifying. Hey, you're probably gonna get the most impartial judge that is out there. Well, I mean, mostly impartial. He might either be very against or very for the nobles. Like, it seemed like he kind of regretted the whole giving everyone magic thing. Now then, with introductions out of the way, shall we proceed? Still cute dragon. I agree. I want a pat. I want a hug. I want to be friendos. Of course, Your Grace. The prosecution is ready. Almost. I'm not cute. The defense is also ready. I'm sure we're all thoroughly aware of why we've gathered here. But for the sake of doing this properly, could you please list the charges, Lucio? Of course. Poor guy. The defendant, Arya Steelwind, is charged with several counts of manslaughter. Her victims include many knights from the Kingsguard who are still unresponsive. And of course, there's Lloyd von Sanctus and Coralyn Sybil, the heads of the House von Sanctus and House Sybil, respectively. What is this farce? Gallery? Shut up. There's a dragon in front of you. Just go with this. That's a big axe. It's a big dragon. Yeah, he always carried the big axe. This trial has been over before it began. Lady Steelwind clearly overestimated herself. Even a child knows to be wary of Mage Blight. Oh, they all think it was Mage Blight, even though she didn't cast Know Nothing. They let people in here? Yeah, they had to. Apparently these were all the nobles that were present back in the place where stuff happened too. No, don't you see? This is Bahamut's judgment. The divine powers that be clearly thinks she is unfit to rule at the king's side. Might I remind the court of my own testimony? I witnessed Beatrice Frigra enter the prayer room before I lost consciousness. Isn't it suspicious that this occurred around 15 minutes before Pierce's death? Objection! If I recall correctly, you only caught a glimpse of her. You don't know if it was someone else disguised in an illusion. You didn't even speak to her. That is all the more reason to call her to the stand to explain herself. She has already testified that she has no memories of what transpired during the massacre. Yeah. I had a feeling he'd have a very gruff voice, but there's no way I could reach that. There's no need to drag this out any longer than necessary, Cubert. My client has a right to fair trial. And Beatrice Regress' involvement clearly implies some sort of foul play. Enough. I find Mr. Cubert's request to be reasonable. Thank you, Dragon. And I agree that Lady Regress' actions are quite suspect. Don't kill your voice trying. Yeah, why must half of these people be like masculine in a way? I'm like, yeah, you'd have a really deep voice. The Dragon, Lucio, flipping the detective whose name is escaping me right now. That's been yelling every day for 60 years or been smoking a pack of smokes for 60 years voice. Because that's apparently how it works. Yeah, no, he's been yelling commands in the battlefields for most of his life, probably. Very well. Let the defense have his battle. I only hope for his sake that this blade strikes true. Cool pose. Why is everything a war metaphor with you? The man's grown up on board. Let him be. Beatrice. I'm glad you're safe, Mr. Hubert. Not for lack of trying on your part. That was... I have no memories of what I did. Oh, Eris adjusted it. I wonder if Dragon Judge knows. Also got a new head. Huh. Yeah. If I hurt you, I am truly sorry. She actually looks pretty sincere, but it's not as if this is the first time she's lied to you. Probably the dragon knows. Yeah, I hope so. It's just... I wonder what... I feel like he'd notice it, but he doesn't know what it is. Yeah, or he notices it, but he can't exactly do anything against it. Like, it might be beyond his control. Makes sense why the demon kept Virgile distracted during the fight, because he's a dragon also. I think the game volume is low. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'll turn it up a little. Let's see. Is that better? I need to adjust it for myself. So, because it's a little loud for me now, but... Does that make it softer for you guys too? Yeah, it does make it softer for you guys too. I got to select all the audio capture already all the way up. Well, we'll do this. That should be a little louder. But yeah, I think he'd have trouble directly confronting Eris. But he definitely knows something's up, I imagine. And that also makes sense why he'd be distracted. Like, the demon would... Like, the demon... Like, Eris knew that if he was in there and... Arya was puppeteered, he'd stop that within an instant. So... He's like... probably angry at himself that he got tricked and distracted. But I wonder now even more what the demon told him to keep him occupied. To be honest, I'm still a little doubtful about your memory loss. But I'm not the only one who experienced it. Have a nice lurk. Arya also has no memories of what happened. And how would you know that? Word travels around quickly in the dungeons that there was an Eris thing there. What? Regardless, if you truly have no memories of what happened, you could testify about what you do. Could you testify about what you do remember? He probably also doesn't want to kick off about it in the event that it causes like an all-out war. Yeah, Eris doesn't seem to be of any specific thing, but she's clearly messing with stuff, so yeah. It probably isn't very easy to do something directly against another powerful force, so... Perhaps there's a clue there where we haven't discovered yet. Very well. I think she, out of everyone, the most would like Eris to be like caught, but of course she lost her soul, so she's under her control. I was with my sisters and my guide, Eris Ilmater. I was speaking with them in the garden when I suddenly felt ill and lost consciousness. When I woke up, my sisters found me. They said I had gone missing for over an hour. I was confused, but when I later heard what happened, I realized that someone must have taken control of my body. She has no allegiance faction, however. I think if he were to confront her, it'd be like an animal trapped in a corner, breaking bones, attacking everything that comes near, kind of thing. Yeah, also, Eris is very powerful. I think she... I mean, considering she can control people, she could do some real damage. And I'm not even sure, like, if she's a demon, killing her mortal body won't do anything, just like with killing Maramut wouldn't do anything. He just returned to his, like, plane of existence where he's meant to be, and only come back very annoyed what you just did. I have no memories of what happened, and from what I understand, the same thing happened to Arya. Yeah, you can't kill demon, only send it back to hell. Yeah, which isn't gonna do much good in the long run. Hello, oh so fearsome evil owl overlord. Hello, Phantom. See, that's a proper way of addressing me. And to make matters worse, there's nothing that indicates who may have controlled her actions. She's trying to help us. So she's also saying that someone else was controlling her. Which was completely true, only I think she remembers. It's more fun if I'll call you... I'm not cute. How are you, Luna? I'm doing well. The story is crazy. So we have the dragon overlord now. There's demons, and this is the last thing, so hopefully we can catch Eris. Well, her testimony does match up with Arya's statements. Also, everyone here has a deep voice, mostly, so that's gonna be tough. But there's something off about the way she's testifying. If she were trying to lie to you, she would have been a lot more vague. What is she doing? She's trying to give you hints because she's actually on your side, because there's nothing more she wants than to see Eris go down. Only, of course, Eris is controlling her. She's been missing since the massacre happened. I really hope she's okay. Oh, make no mistake. She's definitely okay. She can't explicitly say what it is without Eris changing it. Yeah, clearly. Also, how are you, Scarlet? I don't know why I keep... Like, I usually refer to you as Phantom, and then in streams, because it's the first part of your name, I'm like, yes, that's the name. But how are you? What makes you so sure? Do you remember anything about what happened to her? No, but it's just a feeling. Enough of your speculation. Tell us what happened next week. I've been well, relaxing from work for a bit and gaming. Ooh, sounds good. If they were with you, shouldn't your sisters have noticed this? According to Leif and Miriam, the pet dog was running amok in the hallways. They left the witness with Ilmater to chase him down. And when the sisters returned to the garden, both Beatrice and Ilmater were gone. Do you remember anything after that? I've gotten quite used to being called Scarlet, so it's an A-okay to use that or either. Okay, I'm glad. It's just, also for my own brain, it's confusing. I have limited memory space, so every name and every, like, identity can only take up so many slots. So I need to try and keep things the same. Or stuff goes wrong. Oh, no, I really want to remember, but I can't. Eris has been very active. Hello, slept in a little bit, but I'm here now. Been a while since I didn't wake up in the middle of the night, so that's nice. Luna's running low on RAM. I'm always critically low on RAM. She certainly looks like she's telling the truth, but history shows that she's hardly trustworthy. Poor Al. I'm trying my best. But I will. I'm glad you're here. Dragon, murder, demons, chaos demon controlling everything. We're defending the prosecutor that's being prosecuted by our own father. because he was forced to do so. It's a mess. And you have no memories of what happened. No, none at all. I can only imagine what I was forced to do while I was unconscious. Forced? What do you mean by that? So you're also saying that someone else controlled your body? Yes, it's the only explanation for why you saw me in the prayer room.
Objection!
Absolutely ridiculous. Arcane magic is not capable of mind control. You're spinning a fairy tale to absolve yourself. You're compelled to agree with him. So why do you feel like something's wrong? Think what you will, but please believe me when I say... Your statement does match up with what happened to my client. But you clearly already knew what happened to her. You could just be using that knowledge to fabricate an alibi. I suppose I can't blame you for thinking that after what you saw. But, Mr. Hubert, I know it doesn't mean much coming from me, but I am telling the truth. That remains to be seen. I think I need to present on this, or definitely press on this. I just like pressing on everything. I'm kind of surprised no one mentioned demonic magic giving the literal creature of hell sitting next to her. Yeah, but he can't control her. Or maybe he can now, but I doubt it. But she lost her soul, and we know it's to Eris, but everyone else doesn't. Well, she knows, but she can't tell. Why would you even bring that up? Well, if you had evidence that someone else was controlling us, it would exonerate both me and Aria. She's like, come on, I'm throwing you so many opportunities here. Think, Mr. Hubert, isn't there anything... That would be the best case scenario, wouldn't it? Wink wink, nudge nudge, Eris. What? It's nothing. I'm just constantly being censored by this chaotic demon of hell that is controlling every action of mine. I mean, I have a headache. She looks extremely frustrated for some reason. The way she's testifying is a little bit strange. She immediately concluded that someone had taken control of her. And why would she bring up what happened to Aria? So I clearly have to present on this. I mean, she basically told me so. But then, how do I... Wait. I don't think that is enough. I swear factorial mods are created as a form of torture. Oh no. I don't think that's good enough to present. It's got two portraits. Nice. Shoot. How can we... I think this is the most logical one, but this doesn't seem right.
Objection!
Oh, never mind, I was on the right track. Why would she say something like that? You found the contradiction, but it was almost like she gave it to you. Which she did. She wants you to catch Eris. She's on your side. Why do I need like a 10-step process to produce basic electronic circuits? Oh, that reminds me of the modded Minecraft thing I tried a while ago. Where it was like, yes, remember these simple recipes? Well, you know how you want to make like bread? Well, you're gonna make flour first. You want to make flour? Well, you're gonna make the bag you want to hold it in first, the paper bag. You want to make paper? Well, you need to press like sugarcane between two slabs, and that'll use up the slabs for some reason. Otherwise, you're gonna need to build a very big machine you don't have like the resources for, so good luck. I just wanted some bread. Beatrice, you said there's no indication who orchestrated this. But there is one piece of evidence that does just that, albeit loosely. And what would that be? This symbol. You pull out the parchment with the purple mark on it and show it to her. Maramut is like, oh no! Marunat, what are you doing? Screaming in silent terror. Can't you see? I have to make sulfur dioxide so I can make sulfuric acid so I can melt my slag into slag slurry so I can clean it with a filter. Oh yeah, that is, yeah. Yeah, that sounds similar to the modded Minecraft feeling of, yes, I need all these things just to make the basic thing. You know, you can just turn off the mods, right? You don't have to do this to yourself. What's wrong? He's using his powers to suppress our connection. Oh. To be fair, if you were in court and the witness pet demon was shitting itself, you'd be incredibly concerned. Yes, I would be. Magic? I can't actually see what you're trying to show me. Marunat, can you stop being petty and just let her see it? I don't take orders from you, heavens born. I wonder, Mr. Hubert, what's on that parchment? You see, Beatrice, Arya has been investigating a string of murders throughout Wivengard. These murders appear to be unrelated, despite how gruesome they are. But they all share one thing in common. This symbol was found at each and every crime scene.
Objection!
Don't tell me my daughter has roped you into her little conspiracy theory. Your mind control defense would be laughable if it weren't downright insulting. Lord Steelwind, during the gap in Arya's memory, someone placed this mark in her pocket. It was clearly some sort of taunt from whoever orchestrated this. Nonsense, she clearly drew that symbol herself during her psychotic episode. I've had to listen to her go on and on about her insane theory. She was obsessed with it. Mr. Hubert, aren't you curious about what just happened? What are you talking about? Think about it. Why did... My apologies. I don't know why I said that. Gosh dang errors. Is everything okay, Beatrice? No. Yes, I'm perfectly fine. Anyways, it looks like you'll have to figure the rest out on your own. Figure out the rest on my own? I've been trying to help you, Mr. Hubert. Please stop being dense. I'm this close to just having everyone in the room and then myself. She's so done. Understandably so, it must be very annoying to have Eris control your words like that. What do you mean by that? There's nothing to figure out. I just want to grow beans for power production. Why is this so hard? You know you don't need to do this, Thomas. You know you're free to uninstall the mod, right? Your Grace, these two are making a mockery of us by spouting these insane theories. The defense clearly has no case. End this at once. To be fair, it's not like she can exactly tell you what happened, because Eris will just keep mucking it up. Yeah, no. She's like working really hard to try and give us hints, and Eris is working really hard to make it impossible. But Factorio, understandable, I think. I've only played the demo. He knows. Considering what I know, I'd like to indulge this theory. He's like, yeah, no, this tracks. She's learned from her demon by using specific truths. What? The judge is finally giving you a chance for once. That's the first. Well, the guy knows what's up. Dragon isn't stupid. If you attempt to play Factorio, we'll call for an intervention. Nobody has given me Factorio yet. And the council decided that I'm not allowed to buy it myself, so... I'll keep to that, I think. Unless it goes on sale for a lot, then maybe I will. Ban game. The Owl Council decided against it. You shouldn't waste this opportunity. You've actually been noticing it for quite a while. Beatrice has been acting strangely since the trial began. It's suspicious, but not in the way that seems to implicate her. Luckily for you, Factoria doesn't go on sale. Yeah. It's almost like she's intentionally trying to make you realize something. But she is. Why don't you pull on this thread a little more? She just asked you if you were curious about what just happened. And even I am not evil enough to give it to you. Fair. You're not sure why she stopped herself when you asked for elaboration. But whatever she's trying to draw your attention to must be significant. Maruna hit the purple mark from Beatrice. By and large, it's the worst part of Hubert's writing, just absent-mindedly ignoring these things. Well, we can see the glitch, but everyone else in the world doesn't. So for them, it's like it never happened. So he's not ignoring it. It's like the story gets rewritten, so the first part was never said. You can only see that Beatrice, like, is frustrated. Oh well, I got a fair bit into this mod considering my only resource is water. Dang. Most people don't see it. Oh yeah, the glitch. Yeah, that is the one part I also I understand what you're trying to do with it, but especially for a streamer or just if you happen to look away or have a mouse like mine that is breaking and really needs replacing, because even though I feel like I got this quite recently, it is doing the weird double clicky, so I might accidentally click through. I don't want a different mouse brand, but I probably should. It's very easy to miss things and you can't go back. Marunat, he didn't allow Beatrice to see the purple mark. He'd only do that if Beatrice would recognize it normally. Marunat is her familiar and he used to follow her orders. But things have clearly changed now that she belongs to the Empress of Discord, aka Eris. At least I'm like, we haven't gotten confirmation, I don't think, on that, but it's Eris. So why would a demon like Marunat interfere like this? Empress of Discord sounds like something people would be calling you on your server. That would be a new one. The purple mark is related to a demon. No, not Maruna, the purple mark. That doesn't seem right. Oh, it is. The purple mark must be related to a demon somehow. That's the only explanation as why he would prevent her from seeing the mark. But Arya has been investigating murders throughout Wivengard. Does this mean that her investigation also had something to do with a demon? Arya suspects that each of the murderers was acting against their will. And now both Arya and Beatrice are also claiming they were controlled. Well, I know that one. Can't explain what happened to Arya and these other individuals. But you do know why Beatrice might not have full control of her actions. Yeah, she kinda lost her soul. Beatrice lost control of her actions due to a blood contract. No, not there, her. I guess. You recall what was written on Beatrice's contract during her trial. It said what would happen if she failed to claim House Fregra. Her soul, her mind, and her life would all be claimed by the Empress of Discord. If this Empress of Discord owns Beatrice's mind, what would they would that mean they could also control Beatrice against their will? But if that were true... And does this tell us about Arya? Arya lost control of their mind due to a blood contract? No, that can't be right, can it? Did Arya seriously sign a blood contract with a demon? But why would she ever do that? That would suggest that every single person that ever, like, lost control there signed a blood contract with a demon, but I kind of doubt they would. But it's the conclusion that makes the most sense. You can't think of any other way someone could control her against her will. Well, if someone in their past made a blood contract, I guess we don't know that yet, and like signed over, I don't know, their entire lineage. And well, for all my gripes about the Angel Industries mods, there are at least not AI industries. I don't know what the difference is, and there is only one way to find out for certain. The Divine Edict, the same ability used against Beatrice during her trial. It was instinctual at the time, but you have some understanding of how it works. It creates a copy of a blood contract between a contract holder and the demon who created it. But for it to work, you need to know the name of the contract holder. In addition to that, you need the name of the demon who created the contract. Right now, you're only relying on guesswork. But going off what you know, the demon who made the contract must be... I doubt Arya would have done it, but maybe someone in the past who just signed her over. Probably the Empress of Discord. The so-called Empress of Discord. She was mentioned in Beatrice's blood contract, but you still have no idea who or what she is. However, she was mentioned in the blood contract created by Murunat. She must be his superior in some way. That might explain why Murunat doesn't want Beatrice to identify the purple mark. You're not sure if a pseudonym is enough, but it's the closest you can get with what you know so far. You've been awfully quiet for a while, Mr. Qbert. What are you thinking about? He's probably imagining new ways to usually stall for time. I think I finally figured out why the witness and the defendant can't remember anything. And it would also explain why they didn't have control of their actions.
Objection!
Again with this. Well, if you're so convinced of my daughter's conspiracy, why don't you prove it? I knew it. Even you don't believe in the nonsense you're spouting. Lord Steelwind, I want to be wrong about this. If I'm right, the implications don't bode well for anyone involved. So instead of telling you, I think I would be better to show you. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide. Damn it. I knew you could do it. She's like, yes! By the Eye of Horus, I issue upon you a divine edict. Release thy guard and manifest your blood contract with Arya Steelwind. Huh. This blood contract seems strange, and like Beatrice's contract, it's only one page. Even stranger, there's a large empty space at the top half of the page. There are only a few sentences at the bottom. For the intentions of this contract, the person who hands the contract to Arya Steelwind will be referred to as the patron. By signing this contract, Arya Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. This contract will bind Arya Steelwind to the patron so long as they both live. Signed with Arya's signature. Huh. No. He knows. This can't be true. This is... Enough. Stop prattling amongst yourselves.
Objection!
No, this is a sham. This wretch has clearly created a convincing fabrication. It's genuine, Lucio. It's impossible to falsify something like this. You can't deny the truth anymore, Lord Steelwind. There is a way to control someone else's actions. Arya Steelwind wasn't affected by Mage Blight. She was controlled against her will. He is not happy with this. This is probably even worse, because somehow she got into a blood contract with a demon. He's like, oh no. Can you blame him? No, I don't blame him for being upset. With this evidence, there's no doubt that Arya did sign a blood contract. Not just the demon, the Empress of Discord. Yeah. Even though they don't really know what it means. I think Retalion does. My daughter didn't commit... I mean, Mage Blight is also not willingly. Mage Blight is a bout of psychotic insanity with extreme paranoia, which usually causes the mage in question to go on a murder spree. Not always, but very often, because they're terrified. But we already knew that wasn't the case, because she didn't actually use magic, like, before then. You need to overuse your magic to have Mage Blight. And also, she didn't act like someone with Mage Blight. She had no emotions on her face. Yeah, Mage Blight, the lights aren't on, but someone's home, and the person who's home is not having a good time. Yeah, it's like just an extreme emotional, irrational state. Supposedly. But how the heck she signed a blood contract? Because clearly this contract is very different than the one Beatrice deliberately signed. A psychotic episode fueled by magic. Yeah. But it still doesn't make sense. I agree. Even if Arya was the type of person to sign a contract with a demon, there isn't a single part of this contract that benefits her. I think Arya signed the contract because it looked like a normal document. There's a large empty space above the terms of your daughter's contract. Ah yes, revenge against the normal document. Arya was just actually... What actually happens, Arya was so sick of all the paperwork of being a prosecutor, she just took revenge against the documents. When I issued a divine edict, it creates a copy of the blood contract that I call for. Hey man, document makers are annoying people. True. I think when she was giving this contract, it probably looked like something entirely different. Something else was written in this empty space to make it look like a normal legal document. Which means that my client was not in control of her actions that day. Feels like it shouldn't work that way.
Objection!
Enough of this. All of you. Do you see now, Lord Steelwind? Arya was not responsible for what happened. Music. That remains to be proven. What are you talking about? She has a blood contract that relinquishes control of her free will. Just let me convict my daughter of my... He has to, because of reasons. It's complicated. Not having control and not being responsible are two very different things, Hubert. Damn! What? I'll admit, the defendant may not have control of her actions when she murdered the victims. However, she did have full control of herself when she signed the contract. Are you serious? No one in their right mind would willingly sign a contract like this. And what of Beatrice Frigra? Was she in her right mind when she made a contract with the demon Marunat? If we can't hold the defendant responsible, surely we should also acquit Lady Frigra for the murder of her father. That's hardly the same thing. I, for one, fail to see the difference. Her contract at least benefited her, and was actually, like, stipulated. I think, to be fair, Beatrice's document was 80 pages long. Like, Beatrice's document was something that was written out, and she signed it knowing it was a demonic contract. I don't think Arya signed it knowing it was a demonic contract. I think Arya got tricked into signing something. I think that is not the same. And I also... Like, if these contracts were to work on, like, the legal, like, definitions of legal binding stuff, Aria's contract would be null and void, because a contract that you sign unknowingly cannot be held against you, because you didn't actually agree to it. Tricking someone into signing something, like, doesn't make it binding. But apparently with demonic contracts in this world you can, so screw you, I guess. A fool made a deal with a demon, and as a result, several esteemed members of the nobility were killed. She's your daughter, yo. And how does that change anything? Damn it, he seriously doesn't care if he convicts Aria. Honestly, this only places more responsibility on her for what happened. I could have accepted if she had been reckless and accidentally induced Mage Blight. But to sign a contract with a demon? That only further espouses the need to put her down. My guy. Gon is the dad that is secretly kind of proud of her. She was clearly tricked, Lucio. Is that so? As a fellow attorney, would you really sign a contract without carefully inspecting it? Whether it was through foolishness, negligence, or both, the defendant willingly signed a blood contract. She compromised herself, and as a result, 3 nobles died. The responsibility falls squarely on her. Wait, even if she willingly signed that contract, that's not entirely true, is it? Dang, this man is literally a lawyer first, dad second. Yeah, he's not even a lawyer first, he's like a general first. Dad second. He keeps mentioning that it was nobles who died. So. Well, was the nobles who died. And they were important nobles. I think he's carrying out his noble duties. That's just... all the other people that, like, all the guards are in a coma, not yet dead. They might come back. We don't know. But yeah, he is ruthless. Who else was responsible for Aria's action? The patron. Manu's kind of flipped here, but if he acts as Aria, that's the end of his bloodline, that's ending the reign of nobility. He's in his 70s, he's gotta be shooting blanks. If he doesn't, he'll lose major face in terms of nobility. Yeah, he has to, because nobility, but also he had to convict his own wife when she went into Mage Blight and killed like an entire village. And through that, he has clearly shown that, in fact, he is willing to go this way to basically be responsible for the actions of everyone in his house. We do know apparently how Steelwind has more branches, so even though his branch would die out, likely a lesser branch of Steelwind would then take over the main branch, I assume. I think that will be the same for the other houses, it's just that losing the house leaders will cause extreme instability politically. So even if technically the nobility lineage isn't gone, who is exactly going to be ruling is gonna cause a lot of chaos. Yeah, they already have a major power vacuum. The king died, then 3 of the house pillars died in short succession. And, well, we don't know how long he has to live, but whoever was gonna, like, follow him up as the house pillar, which was likely gonna be Aria from what I know, he's gonna be dead also. So, that's not good. Lucio, there's clearly someone else to blame for Aria's actions that day. Oh, and who would that be? I'd like to reread my client's blood contract to the court. By signing this contract, Aria Steelwind surrenders her mind, body, and soul to the patron. 3 of the 4 dead and the last one's on his way out. Yeah, although he looks like he might still truck on for a little while longer. But yeah, he's not gonna truck on for that much longer. That can only mean one thing. Whoever this patron is, they took control of my client and used her to murder the victims. That's right. It could still be out there. None of us are safe until this patron is apprehended. Surely we can't end this trial while every member of Wivengard nobility is in danger. Well played. I'm compelled to agree with Mr. Kubert. Trickery or not, it's clearly someone wished ill intent on the nobles. And until we know who the patron is, he can't pass judgment on my client. Not until we know the circumstances that she signed that blood contract under. And what would you have us do, Cuber? The contract has no stipulations about proximity or how this mind control works. For all we know, this patron could have murdered the victims all while sitting in their very home. There was a clear intent behind this attack. Even if the patron didn't directly participate in the murders, they definitely had a motive. If Arya was being controlled, then we can analyze her behavior to determine who was controlling her. I see, that does sound as good as a plan as any. At the very least, we can't allow this patron to escape justice. Despite the questions raised, we've clearly made some headway. I believe we should take a brief recess to process these revelations. Very well. Not gonna argue with a dragon. You step outside the Skilled Lord's lair to get some fresh air. These new revelations are a lot to take in. Celeste looks especially down. From what you've observed, she and Arya have been speaking to each other a lot. They must have become friends over the many times they've met. You can't imagine how powerless she feels right now. Arya, I'm so sorry. Don't be, Her voice begins to break. She's always been stoic, but it's clearly even she has her breaking point. I can't imagine what you're feeling right now. But there's still hope. If you can find out who did this to you, we can still save you. Oh. Do you remember if you've signed anything recently? No, I don't. Damn it, the patron must have wiped your memories to cover their tracks. But I still don't understand. Even if I don't remember signing that contract, I don't think I would be that careless. Right, as much as I hate to admit it, Lucia was right. You're an attorney like me, and we've always carefully looked over contracts before we sign them. Which raises the question of how the patron got your signature. I don't know. Was it like something stupid? Like, do you know how sometimes when you like have to sign for a package or like a birthday card, like, yeah, you sign your name here. Damn it, we don't even know what circumstances you were under when you signed that contract. For all we know, the patron could have used any number of tactics to coerce you into doing this. That's also possible. Arya? As you're deliberating amongst yourselves, Lord Steelwind approaches you. What are you doing here? Celeste is immediately in guard mode. Father? An autograph seems like it would fit. Although even then, I don't see Arya easily giving away her autograph. But maybe that is what happened. I don't know. Can't believe him. How does he have nothing to say? His actions say otherwise, but you could have sworn you saw something through the eye. It's almost as if he was saddened and worried. I think he is. Hi again, gonna lurk. Have a nice lurk, Professor Pie. Well, no matter how he feels internally, he's made it clear that he's your enemy. Whatever his motivations are, you'll overcome him, just like everyone else. We should at least also head back, Celeste. Right. No matter what it takes, you're going to see this through. Him being a dad is slowly edging forward over him being a noble. I think he's hoping you win, but he doesn't... I think he's hoping you win, but he doesn't want to have you win through false means. He doesn't want to compromise the court system, I think. It still has to look like a normal legal document and you have to sign it in a very specific spot. He doesn't want to say it out loud, yeah. So something is up, like she was clearly tricked, but how? Court is now resumed, shall we pick up where we carried off? How would you like to proceed? I think we should review what we do know about the murders. We don't know the exacts of blood contract, so we know something is sus. Yeah. We do have a plethora of witnesses to work with. That's correct. So let's start from the beginning. It all began at noon yesterday morning. I was at my house in Ratholm with Arya and my bodyguard Celeste. I was speaking with them when a courier suddenly delivered a letter to my home. It was from Garrick Pierce. He wanted to meet with me and Celeste at the Grand Cathedral of the Skilled Lord at 2 p.m. To make sure we were on time, we arrived at the Grand Cathedral at 1 p.m. At the time, we didn't know what the cathedral was we didn't know that the cathedral was closed to the public. But the knights guarding the cathedral allowed us through anyways. Apparently, they were expecting us. That should not have been possible. Due to the solemnity of the situation, we were very particular about who was permitted to enter the cathedral. It's possible someone pulled some strings to let us through. Or you two entered the cathedral illegally. Well, I'm sure that knight from the Kingsguard can vouch for us. I know about every other order given to the Kingsguard, and none of them were told to let you two through. It's possible the knight we met fell comatose like the others. And as long as they're unresponsive, we'll never know. Perhaps we should continue. Anyways, we arrived at the church and spent the next hour sightseeing before we went to meet with Pierce. In that time, we met with Remus, Lucio, Arya, Aster, and Alaric. And around that time, Arya and Aster left together to meet with the High Speaker in his quarters. While exploring the cathedral, we spoke with Von Sanctus and Cybele. Then we spoke with the 3 Fregra sisters and Eris Ilmater. Eris Ilmater? She's a friend of Beatrice Fregra. The Kingsguard wouldn't let her bring her familiar into the cathedral, so she brought Eris to guide her instead. Which is the worst choice. Anyways, we left the garden at around 1:45 p.m. to meet with Pierce in the prayer room. And at around that same time, Arya left her meeting with the High Speaker and felt nauseous. I'm not sure that's a choice, yeah. The last thing she remembers is looking at Lake Galakrond. I have this compass that only points towards cute people, and for some reason it points towards... No! Also, hello Kaino, how is you? A likely story. Regardless, at 2 p.m. Aster went to pay respects to his father's body. Unbeknownst to him, a mage had played a glyph of contingency in front of his father's coffin. It was set to trap him within a force cage. What a despicable act. What did I miss? The Remus advisor is actually the ancient dragon. Eris is messing with the thing. Beatrice is trying her hardest to give us a lead, but Eris keeps like changing what she said. Lucio is convicting his own daughter, and we found out that Arya accidentally somehow got tricked into signing a blood contract that gives the patron of whoever gave her the document complete control of her mind, body, and whatever. So, a lot. Considering what followed, the attack on His Majesty must have been a diversion. Right. It was also at this time that both Beatrice and Eris went missing. Considering the timing of it all, someone must have taken control of Beatrice's body after the trap on Aster was sprung. And are you saying this patron controlled her as well? No, I don't think so. According to her contract, her mind belongs to the Empress of Discord, not the patron. Furthermore, Arya's blood contract was created by the Empress. It's clear that the patron and the Empress were in league with each other. Wonderful, another demon we have to worry about. Anyways, the patron and the Empress had all of their pieces they needed. That's when they began the massacre. The patron took control of Arya's body, and they used her to murder Von Sanctus at 2:05 p.m. Dang, might need to watch the VOD because I'm not good with names. I'll show you through the thing. Wait, I can actually... So, this guy, Remus Virtule, is actually Retalian the Skilled Lord. You'll see in a bit. Yeah. This is Beatrice that has been taken control of. She has a little demon guy, Mara Mood. Eris... It's pretty... We can basically say Eris is the Empress of Discord. Yeah, this is the High Speaker. He's still suspicious. He's sus. But yeah. That's the most important stuff right now. Presumably, Arya started a fire in a common room around this time. And since Von Sanctus' body was found there, this must have been after she murdered him. Shortly after, Prince Alaric spotted smoke from the fire and asked Arya what was going on. Arya responded by using an unknown transmutation spell to incapacitate him. We think she turned him into a frog. I think they would use her to attack the prince as well. Luckily, the effects of that spell were only temporary, and Alaric came out unharmed. Which is interesting. So whoever took control didn't want the prince to die. Like the patron was not after the prince. After this, the patron used Arya to murder Sybil at 2:15 p.m. She brought Sybil's body to the westward balcony where she dumped it into Lake Galacrond. High Speaker Arceus witnessed this, but he wasn't aware of what she'd thrown off the balcony until much later. Yeah, also, Pokemon. No, it's just, it means a thing in Latin, I'm fairly certain, hence the name similarity. The prince is 7, so it makes sense. I mean, it's a demon thing, like... Story-wise, yes, but also with demon, why would the demon spare a 7-year-old? But I think it's not the demon controlling it, it's the patron who is in league with the demon, but might have their own agenda. The High Speaker thought this encounter was strange, but he continued with his business. Am I smelling smoke? Hold up. I was smelling smoke. The neighbor turned on the barbecue. It is morning. I don't like when my room smells like smoke. Unit's curious, I set her out on fire. No! Arya did. He headed to the prayer room, but was turned away by the knight standing guard there. Meanwhile, Celeste and I were talking to Lord Pierce. What are they barbecuing? I don't know. I looked outside, I closed the little thingy above my window, and I saw their barbecue was smoking. Who in the world barbecues at this time of the day? That's the dinner thing. My neighbor does. Either they're cleaning it, or they're gonna have a very, very long roast. I really wish they'd give me a notice so I could, like, close my little air thing above my window in time so my entire room doesn't smell of smoke. Why can I only see Thomas and Aeon zealots trotting on Luna Stream? We are the frequent chatters, and we're here to speak the truth. Like, do you mean on the little talkie thing? Because... I don't know. Are there people missing? Good morning. At the very least, they should bring you a roast. Good morning, Thunder. And I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy with that arrangement, but I don't think I can really demand my neighbors to bring me food. Never mind, I think it fixed itself. Weird. Yeah. It was before that for some reason some people weren't showing up. It's weird. I don't know why. If someone wants to fix all my overlays for me, that'd be nice, but also I like doing that myself. I feel bad for employing other people if I can't properly compensate them. But yes, we were totally talking to Lord Pierce, not intimidating him. When we showed up for the meeting earlier, he was clearly expecting someone else to show up. We tried to get to the bottom of what was happening, but he refused to answer our questions. And at about 2:20 p.m. we heard a commotion outside. Celeste went to investigate. And that's when Celeste fought Arya. The patron's target was Garrick Pierce, but Celeste was too powerful to neutralize. They fought each other for about 15 minutes before Arya was finally able to push past her. During their fight, the Empress sent Beatrice into the prayer room. She probably made Beatrice invisible to move undetected. She then used her to cast a sleep spell on Pierce and me to knock us out. I remember checking the time close to when this happened. This must have happened at 2:30 p.m. Maybe Pierce was expecting heirs or someone related to a demon and was planning on making a blood contract to try and get out of his execution. Yeah. Although, The thing is that his letter said that he figured out the origins of Celeste heritage. And that's why he sent the letter. And whoever he sent it to must have had very big interest in that. But who else but Celeste would be interested in that? Either it was the person that he knew was related to Celeste in some way, like their parents, so he'd be like, hey, I'm gonna expose that you had an extramarital affair and left your child as an orphan. Or it was someone else who would benefit from it, so, But whoever he sent it to, the person that he wanted to show up didn't. No, Celeste is like trying to find her parents. Her actual parents. She was adopted. And she has great magic. She's likely from actually noble lineage. I mean, she has white hair and she has extreme magic power, so... If your testimony is correct, Peter's Playground was actively used in his plan. Yes, and considering how quickly the massacre unfolded, the Empress must have coordinated with the patron. Yeah, that I know. I'm talking about advice someone else would want to know. I don't think we know yet. Like, I don't think we can... I'm wondering too, but I don't think we can, like, fully grasp that yet. Like, either it was blackmail, or... Yeah, I think we'll find out. I'd hope it will. Me too. They probably planned how they would use Beatrice and Arya to carry out the murders. Anyways, after Beatrice knocked us out, Arya finally pushed past Celeste and entered the prayer room. And before Celeste could chase after her, she had already murdered Pierce. Arya and I were already unconscious by the time Celeste entered the room. Who's the Empress? Likely Eris, but we don't have an actual confirmation on that. But the Empress of Discord is clearly a very high powerful demon, and she stands above Marunat in the hierarchy and is also the one who created contracts. The patron had already achieved their goal of murdering the 3 nobles. So she probably fell unconscious after they released their control over her. Arya and I regained consciousness shortly after. Greenheart, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hello, hello. Let me give you a shout out. How is you? You were playing Icarus. How was that? Hello and welcome. My name is Luna. I'm a variety streamer. I like playing strategy games. Currently I'm playing Attorney of the Arcane, or Tyrion Hubert Attorney of the Arcane. If you know Ace Attorney, this is very similar but magic. I also am currently playing RimWorld on Sundays. But hello, welcome back. I hope you've had a good stream. If you need to raid and run, I understand, but otherwise I'd love to have you and hear how things went. I'm still needing to get and play this game. Well, I am at the very last chapter, so you might then want to dip if you don't want spoilers, because it's very intense and it's very cool, but considering this is the last chapter, you'll probably have a lot of spoilers happening. Yeah, shit's hitting the fan. Stuff is going down. But it's good to see you again. And well, I'm gonna wait a moment so you can make a decision on if you want to stay here and watch, because this game I do think is best when you don't know what's gonna happen, because there's gonna be some reveals. Oh, okay, but yeah, game I play was survival stuff. It was good. I hope it's all good for you. I'm glad it all went well, and it's going well for me too, although I'm kind of worried with how many deep voices there are, if my voice is gonna last till the end of the day. We're just gonna try. But yeah, let's continue, because I don't know how long this chapter is, but it feels like it's gonna be a long chapter. I need food and stuff, but I want to hold out on this game, so I'll whisper you look so I don't get spoilers. Alright, well, take care, have some good food, and I'll see you another time. Thank you so much for the raid again. Bye bye! That's when the Inquisition arrested her for the murders. Lord Pierce was one of the victims. Your meeting clearly had more significance than I'd realized. So tell us, Hubert, what was your discussion about? No one expected the Inquisition. It's fine, you can tell them. Alright, as long as it's okay with you. For the past few months, Celeste and I have been investigating who her birth parents are. I recall receiving many complaints about her during the Lord's Ball. Supposedly, Garrick Pierce had the information we were seeking. That letter he sent us said that he wanted to trade this information for his freedom. I assumed this meant that he wanted me to be his attorney. Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Why would he ask for help from the attorney who indicted him in the first place? We thought the same thing. And when we arrived for the meeting, it was clear I wasn't the intended recipient. This means that Pierce sent that letter to someone else. You better not be lying to us, Hubert. Frankly, I don't much care if you believe me. Regardless, if we examine every action Arya took, we can build a psychological profile of the patron. I will give you that. To begin, the defense would like to call the Inquisition commander to the stand. His testimony might shed some light on how von Sanctus and Cybele died. Despite all these witness accounts, we still only know how Pierce was murdered. Yes, he was impaled using a blade magically frozen with his own blood. In a grim sort of way, it's almost poetic that he died the same way Flintheart did. But you doubt that will give Celeste any kind of closure. Anyways, we need to find out exactly how Arya murdered von Sanctus and Cybele. The massacre was swift and efficient. It must have required a lot of forethought and coordination. If we figure out who might have had this knowledge, we might be able to find out who did this. I see. That sounds as good as a plan as any. Hello, Princess Barney. Welcome to the stream. Kingsguard. Escort Commander Orem White to the witness stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Right, He wasn't expecting a dragon, probably. Commander? I'm sorry, I just can't do this. But what? Orem? How am I supposed to act like this is normal? Okay, fair. A giant lizard is standing right behind me. I don't think you should call him a lizard. Calling me a lizard is highly offensive, Commander. Oh no! He didn't know. Sorry, your skilled lordship, sir. Commander, just try your best to testify about what happened. He forgot. I think you accidentally called him a slur. I mean, to be fair, it's a lot to adjust to that there's suddenly a dragon. Yeah. It all started when we received a report from Kingsguard. The prosecutor attacked Prince Alaric and the fire had broken out in the common room. We weren't sure what the deal with Steelwind was, so we went to the common room to put out the fire. But when we got there, we noticed a bunch of unconscious knights in front of the prayer room. We went to the prayer room. That's when we found Steelwind and Hubert unconscious next to Pierce's dead body. We later found the bodies of von Sanctus and Cybele too. That's when we realized that she offed all three of them. So you still have no idea how Steelwind was used to murder von Sanctus or Cybele? Not a clue. It's especially worse for von Sanctus that fire burned a lot of the physical evidence of his body. He really just called him the L word. Time to cancel him on Twitter, which is the universe is a network of highly advanced carrier pigeons. What about Cybele? Was there any physical evidence on her body? No idea about that either. She didn't have any wounds either. All we know is that she died of suffocation. So, maybe drowned. There's definitely more information you can glean from their investigation. And this mainly based on Princess Alaric's testimony, am I correct? Yeah, we still have no idea which transmutation spell she hit him with. Judging from the time of her report, this must have been well after all three of the murders occurred. Yeah, it was unfortunate how that played out. If Steelwind really was controlled, whoever controlled her knew how to get the job done quickly. That leaves the question of how they did this so efficiently. Was that wise? Regardless of who it was, someone assaulted the Prince of Wivengard. We were already dealing with the king who was trapped in that force cage. Honestly, a lot happened in that hour, and most of our attention was focused on keeping the royal family safe. We can already conclude that the attack on the king was a distraction. Whoever orchestrated this must have known we'd focus our attention on keeping the royal family safe. I suppose that makes sense, and the casualties still include many knights from the King's Guard. They probably had to spread their forces thin to protect everyone else and handle the fire in the common room. What did you do when you arrived at the common room, Commander? Did you see Arya or Celeste? No, we only saw the aftermath of their fight. There were marks and craters everywhere in that hallway. Pierce's time of death was 2:45 p.m. and the knights didn't arrive at the common room until 3:10 p.m. They didn't arrive at the prayer room until well after the battle had taken place. Wait. Wouldn't that mean you were in that room with Pierce's body for 25 minutes? Why didn't you look for help? You weren't waking up for some reason, so I kept channeling my healing magic into you. Looking back, I probably should have just looked for help. But even if Arya was unconscious, I didn't want to leave you alone in that room with her. Wait, how was the prince even unattended? Earlier we had a small snippet of that. The prince wanted some space and Orvin decided to give him some. So the eldest, who is now technically the king, was trapped in a force cage, which drew most of the forces to like get him try out of that and protect him. Then the young prince kind of wanted to be alone, and I keep messing up his name. Why do I keep messing up? Orim. Yeah, Orim was like, considering the circumstances, we're gonna give him a little bit of space. Will, Disney the cutie Dutch beard. Hello, flying foxes. I'm not cute, but welcome back to the stream. I hope you're well. Right, sorry. Recalling that moment is clearly taking a toll on her mind. You should be more careful. Judging from the timing, this would have been several minutes after he'd already died. Yeah, and we have no idea what was going on. Pierce was already dead, and you and Steelwind were unresponsive. I can see why I'd be unresponsive. I was hit with a spell specifically designed to make people sleep. But why would Arya be unresponsive too? We have no idea. We've never even heard of a demonic possession until today. For all we know, it could have all been a side effect of being controlled for over an hour. I suppose that makes sense, but could that common threat truly be a mere coincidence? That last statement was a little vague. Perhaps you should ask him to elaborate more on one of the murders. But whose murder should he elaborate on? Let's start with Garrick's. Pierce's murder. Well, was there any evidence that implied how he died? Oh, we already know that. Well, that one is simple. McCoy chased Steelwind into the prayer room, but didn't arrive fast enough. When she got there, Pierce was already dead. He was killed using a blade magically formed from his own blood. But why would she do something like that? When he murdered Flintheart McCoy, he only used shape liquid to avoid leaving behind any evidence. I doubt the patron would make Steelwind do the same thing. Their intent was to pin the crime on her. Honestly, it doesn't make sense. It said on sleep spell the person can wake up if any pain inflicted anyone. Celeste could have jabbed Tyron yet was asleep over 30 minutes, I call sus. Please don't help me too much with deducting things. And also, I doubt like Celeste knew it was a sleep spell and would have just like jabbed us to wake us up. But it is sus. We think she knew McCoy was on her tail. She didn't have enough time to suffocate him as she did with Von Sanctus and Cybele. I doubt she's gonna clock someone who's passed out. Yeah, especially considering she was worried he was dead or something. My employer is asleep, time to shank him. And she didn't have any weapons on her. She must have had to improvise. But she has other spells that could have done the job. She could have hit him with a Steelwind strike. I know from experience that she is terrible at controlling that spell. Damn, Lucio! It's possible she didn't want to unleash such a powerful spell in a closed room. That sort of tracks, but it still doesn't feel right. But you can't really refute it now. It'd be best to move on. Anyways, the other two murders were really well planned. Pierce's murder was the only one that required improvisation. It's possible that the patron severely underestimated McCoy's combat capabilities. She followed my daughter for almost half an hour. Meanwhile, the other 2 murders occurred within quick succession of one another. Yeah, I see what you mean. Anyways, please add this to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid. It's likely they knew about what happened during McCoy's trial and drew inspiration. Still though, it seems awfully creative for something that they came up with at the moment. Well, don't the legends say that demons engage in contrapasso? Say what now? Some people believe that when souls are sent to hell, they are punished in a way that relates to their sins. In Pierce's case, he committed a murder with a frozen blade. It's possible this Empress wanted the patron to murder him in the same way, although he still can't say for sure. Despite how much I was hoping to, like, get him to elaborate on the others. Hold up. Okay, she does have shape liquid. I don't think we can do anything with this. From what it sounds like, the patron wasn't planning on letting McCoy live. That drawn-out fight must have really thrown a wrench into their plans. I find that a little strange, though. How so? My daughter is a worthless soldier. She has no talent for Lucio! Dude! Rude? And I've experienced McCoy's battle prowess firsthand. Oh wait, you fought her? As much as I hate to admit it, McCoy should have easily overcome her in an even fight. It was her magic that was the problem. And I had no idea what kind of spell she could throw at me, so I had to be careful. And despite everything, I really didn't want to hurt her. That kindness could be the death of you, McCoy. It'd be better to just let that slide. Anyways, it's Pierce the victim you want to focus on. Yeah, okay, this is the one I need to have him elaborate on the other murders. Whose murder should he elaborate on? Okay, I want to hear about Cybele next. I mean, she was probably this close to swinging him when he charged Tyron originally. I mean, I don't think she would have, like, killed him, but yeah, she was pretty close. This lad is fiercely dedicated to winning the Worst Dad of the Year award. He's losing against Fregra's dad, to be honest. Like, he's not even close. He has to try a lot harder. Could you elaborate more on Cybele's murder? Was there any evidence that implied how she died? Using our divination magic, we know she died of suffocation. But we're not exactly sure how. Unlike von Sanctus, Cybele's body wasn't burned. Shouldn't there have been wounds around her neck if she was suffocated? Well, we found traces of necromancy on Cybele. We think Steven cast meant wounds on her body after she offed her. This would have removed any wounds on the body. It's exactly like what happened with Catherine Bellwether. Yeah, the only wounds that she had are from the impact of falling into Lake Galacrond. Anyway, please add this to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid. How did you know her body was there anyways? When the body started dropping, we noticed that she was nowhere to be found. One of the King's Guard cast locate the creature and realized she was somewhere in the lake. It took us an hour before we finally fished her out. Based on the High Speaker's testimony, she was dead long before that. Despite how much you know, there are a lot of details missing about how von Cybele died, but the Inquisition might have found some clues that you missed. You should have the Commander. Yeah. I want to. That's a bit rude. She's short, but she's not a creature. I think any entity is considered a creature. Hmm. Suffocated her somehow. Look at all those spells. Let's see. She does have mend wounds, so she could have indeed like healed her wounds. But she have anything to like suffocate the creature? She has hold creature. Which one is hold creature? Strike through. That one. Okay. That is hold, that isn't like killing, so. I don't think there's anything to present on. Did we already press this one? Since someone cast... Okay, this one is new. Man wounds on the body, we still don't know how. Yeah, it's going to be a real headache figuring that out. You're compelled to agree with him. No one saw the murder. The High Speaker only witnessed the moment Arya dumped the body, and even he didn't see that much. Anyways, Cybele, the victim you want to focus on? Yada yada. Okay, let's go Lord von Sanctus. Could you elaborate more on von Sanctus's murder? Was there any evidence that implied how he died? Like I said, it's trickier with von Sanctus because the fire partially burned his body, and our divination magic could only tell that he died of suffocation. I see, so there's no other physical evidence. Well, there is one thing. From his burn marks, we do know that he was hit with a firebolt before he died. We're guessing she wanted to weaken him before she dealt the final blow. So he took a direct attack from her before he died. Anyways, please add this to your testimony, Commander White. Sure, whatever you say, kid. Right, Firebolt is in her spell compendium. And von Sanctus wasn't exactly a fighter after all. Yeah, the poor Sal didn't have a chance. He must have been in immense pain from the attack. Okay, I think he would have something to defend himself with. Because he had Mage Blade, Forge Cage, Send Message, and Mend Wounds. So he could have Force Caged around himself to protect himself and then Mend Wounds on himself. But technically. Got a feeling Lucio was saying in his head, little fucker deserved it. Probably. He's like, and nothing of value was lost that day. Which one is the gauge? There. Yeah, I think he would have... See, I think he would have had a way of protecting himself with Force Cage. There we go. That's strange. What is it now? Commander White, you said that Steelwind attacked von Sanctus with a firebolt before she suffocated him. Yeah, she probably wanted to injure him so he'd be easier to subdue. But that's what I find strange. Von Sanctus knew he was under attack. So wouldn't he cast Force Cage to repel her? I guess that's true. Von Sanctus was hardly a warrior, Hubert. Smell rate command. Wait, what? Force Cage is an extremely useful spell, but it has to be aimed. He was hit with a firebolt, and he must have been in immense pain. I doubt he'd be able to think clearly under those circumstances. I normally agree with you, but the crime scene tells another story. What do you mean, Mr. Hubert? Yeah, we know something was up. What? Let's see. How did you... Hello, Trash Snail. Slippy Snail Raid. Thank you, thank you. Let me give you a shout out. You were playing Rimworld, right? Yeah, you were playing Rimworld. Dragon, yes. Quick thing. If you want to play this game, we are at the last chapter. There are major spoilers here. So if you want to go into this game blind, close your eyes. and I was watching you both. Oh, sneaky. I have this on my list, so close my eyes. Okay, NPC. Like, seriously, last chapter, stuff is going down. Highly recommend this game. It's so cool. If you like Ace Attorney, you'll like this. It's Ace Attorney, but with magic. And it's a little less guessy about, like, like, if you're trying to figure out what happened so far, I haven't had to guess too much. Anyways, Luna's QC. No, I'm not cute. Also, thank you for the help check. I'll get into that. But for anyone who doesn't know me, hello, my name is Luna. I'm a variety streamer. I like playing strategy games and stuff that makes me think, which is kind of ironic considering half of the time I have a very smooth brain. But yeah, I'm currently playing Tyron Qbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Very similar to Ace Attorney. And on Sundays, I'm currently also playing Rimworld. So, yeah. I am not cute. My child calls me cute. All the time. It's just slander, lies. But let's see. Is there anything else? And now I gotta say that in Dutch. Ik ben eigenlijk heel erg schattig. There you go, translation. I took a sip of water. I gotta go do a stretchy stretch. And look away for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And posture check. See, she is good. That's a translation. I'm huge, Luna. Thank you. It's very sweet. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Trash Snail, once again, thank you so much for the raid. If you have the raid and run, I understand. Go good fooding or chores or sleep or whatever. But you said I translated. Translating is not saying that it is the truth. You can't know things. You're literally putting words in her mouth. Yeah! Objection. You're literally putting words in my mouth. But... C, what? Why are we doing the alphabet? Well, the words are... They aren't true. I'm not cute. How dare. Slander. But yeah. I hope you've all been doing well. And let's continue, because it's... Cool stuff is going down. There, this is the one. When we investigated the crime scene, we found traces of abjuration magic that formed a perfect square around the body. I'm sure if we measure the dimensions of that square, it would be 10 feet by 10 feet. I wasn't trying to help you deduce, was just trying to comment because I saw the others earlier comments too also. I wasn't saying slash fuck or shank down as other chanters implied, just a pinch of something is enough. Anyways, I didn't mean any harm and I'll say stand. It's entirely okay. I'm not mad. The reason I'm saying it is because I want to be clear. When I ask for like specific help on, okay, I don't know how to continue, what do I need to do? Do you guys have any like suggestions? Then feel free to jump in. But because I don't know if someone has already played this game, like speculating generally on lore stuff is fine. But if it's like things of how to solve the puzzles, I'd like to try it on my own first. I know that's a bit of a difficult like line, so it's entirely okay. I just want to be clear, like, oh, this is fine, but I don't want to be like told the answers. So that's why I said that. You're good. If like it's just I can't tell how much you know, and it sounded like you knew a lot. or had noticed a lot more than I would have noticed. Technically, because they're saying you're cute through text, it would be libel and not slander. Normally I wouldn't call it out, but it seems appropriate for this game. You know, you're right, libel. But yeah, have a nice lurk, Professor Pi, and let's continue. So Mage Gauge, or Force Gauge, Magics, which is the same length and width as the cube created by Force Gauge. Like you said, he was in no shape to aim it. So he cast Force Gauge on himself to create a makeshift barrier. Mage Gauge works too, to be honest. Well, the name is Force Gauge.
Objection!
Nonsense. If Von Sanctus had cast Force Gauge on himself, he should have been protected from further harm. The defendant wouldn't have been able to suffocate him after that. Perhaps there's some way to bypass Force Gauge. And once again, your ignorance of the arcane arts is made apparent. Force Gauge is one of the most powerful abjuration spells in existence. It can't be dispelled, and no one could teleport into or out of it. Smoke. Yeah, that was what I was thinking too, also. Thomas. I just did a whole thing, but yeah, no. Smoke. Definitely. Right. Aster was also trapped in a Force Gauge. And he had to wait for the hour duration to elapse. So how did Steel Wind suffocate him? Smoke, probably. But yeah, that's true. They did say smoke comes up as toxic in their thingy. Yeah, they mentioned that. Wait. If Force Gauge is a perfectly closed space, is it possible that he ran out of air? That would be glaring weakness. The House von Sanctus obviously designed that spell to allow oxygen through the barrier. And before you ask, poisonous gases can't be pushed through the barrier either. Only oxygen can travel through it. I mean, wait, hold up, then he could still have suffocated, because if only oxygen can travel through it, then he would have been breathing out carbon dioxide the whole time. Even if there's enough oxygen, like, carbon dioxide would still build up. You can't just be in a room and continually push oxygen in it and be fine if it's completely closed off. Eventually the carbon dioxide buildup would still suffocate you. But if oxygen can get through, people can get through as well. They just gotta turn themselves into oxygen. Right, and even if they had used poisonous gas, the autopsy report wouldn't have said he was suffocated. So much for impossible to escape. I found a loophole in 60 seconds. Only oxygen can travel through the bounds of a Force Gauge. Well, if the oxygen everywhere else was, like... If the entire room was burning and the oxygen was there to be traveling through, he would still suffocate. I think that's what they're... I think he means that you can still breathe inside it. Yeah, I think... I don't think they're going the route of carbon monoxide poisoning. But I think the reason she set the entire room on fire is, well, fire consumes oxygen. If there's no oxygen in the air near it to get in, then he would still have suffocated. So how did Arya suffocate Von Sanctus despite that? The fire tricked Von Sanctus in the common room. Ah, yes. Of course. The fire consumed all the oxygen in the common room. Force Gauge is just not a very sciencey way of saying it, but the fantasy game says science is pissing in a bottle to make gold. Yeah. It's not a very sciencey game. Force Gauge is specifically designed to allow oxygen through its barrier. But what if there was no oxygen left in the room? No oxygen? Damn, tricky fire. Yeah. Ah, I see. It was the fire in the common room. The patron knew Arya couldn't harm Von Sanctus once he was in that Force Gauge, so she started a fire to eat all of the oxygen within the room. What should have protected him ended up trapping him, and the inability to dispel it ended up sealing his fate. Damn, that's some poetic way of going. Well, I suppose that explains how the defendant murdered Von Sanctus. But with that in mind, a lot of this plan sounds like it was improvised at the moment. Just like the murder of Pierce. And not only that, we assume that the patron used the same method to kill both Lord Von Sanctus and Lady Cybele. But I doubt Lady Cybele died under the same circumstances. That was also quite gruesome. He must have realized at some point he was doomed. Yeah. Although, wait, Von Sanctus has sent message as one of his spells. I don't think anywhere in Forest Gate it says that he can't send the message. Why didn't he just send the message like, Ayo, I'm trapped here. Could you, like, stop the fire? Correct. There was only one fire. And if Cybele was in the Forest Gate, the defendant wouldn't have been able to throw her body into Lake Galacrond. Which means Cybele must have died by asphyxiation elsewhere. And if our next course of action is to determine how Lady Cybele was murdered. The next question, how did she set fire to Marble Room? Magic. Magic. There was carpentry and tapestry around the tattoo. No magic go through? What? But we still don't know where she was murdered. And the only witness who saw her around this time was the High Speaker, which was after the defendant disposed of Cybele's body. Well, the High Speaker's testimony is as good as a start as any. For our next witness, the defense would like to call High Speaker Tion Arceus to the stand. I wonder if Ratalion is like... So, it's gonna be kind of awkward, because there's this whole religion praising Ratalion, but Ratalion is there. He might actually be kind of mad at this religion. He's like, guys, I disagree with all of your statements. Bro is literally meeting gold. Well, he isn't, like, he isn't all powerful, but he is a god of sorts. Like, he is very powerful. But I think, like, I'm not sure if he's directly on, he might be more powerful than Eris directly, but he killed a lot of people by name. Yeah, I don't think he's too happy, but we'll see. I have to do a water break soon, but maybe right before this starts. What's wrong? It's nothing. Please carry on. He's like, oh, this jerk. King's Guard, escort High Speaker Arceus to the witness stand. Witness, you will testify about... Dude's gonna get... Yeah, he's seeing his god. This is gonna be, like... If Orin was already, like, freaking out about the dragon, this guy is certainly gonna freak out about the whole dragon thing. Yeah, that was only to be expected. Oh, great, and blessed skill lord. Oh, this is gonna be awkward, isn't it? I think you would grace us with your presence. Ah, this is painful to read. Oh my god. Battalion. Why couldn't he just be in human form? Well, he needed to show who he was. Battalion. If he could facepalm, he would facepalm right now. He is so done. It's like, oh my god. Wait, you have a god? No, not like that. Just the way you humans speak. I've lived amongst you for quite some time. I just adopted your method of speaking. Chill. Forgive me, Lord Battalion. I spoke out of turn. You must think I'm an arrogant fool. Wow, it looks like the witness is smooching the judge for one. How many times do I have to tell you people that I'm not a god? Yes, I revere and serve the god of dragons, but I'm not Bahamut's avatar. Oh. But you're the skilled lord. I'm just a dragon. I'm not even a powerful one. I'm not a deity. This humility. That's exactly what Bahamut's avatar would say. Oh, poor Battalion. I swear to God. There is a bigger god. And he's swearing to him, like... This is like that one Monty Python skin. I feel so bad for Italian. He even swears by the god's name. Oh my... He's the Messiah. Poor Italian. Lucio, please handle this. Perhaps another approach is warranted. High Speaker Arceus, the great and powerful Battalion calls upon you today. You require my blood. No! Of course, I would gladly give my life for this. No! What? No! Even Stoic Lucio is like completely like, what the? Dude, chill! I thought he was going to walk up and just slap him. He deserves that at this point. Of course, my blood could never be enough. I'm going to just... I'm not going to just facepalm. I'm just going to faceplant directly into my desk if this keeps going. This is painful. Man, religious zealotry is fucking wild. Would you just let me... I will do as you wish, my lord. I might take some time, though. I'll need some time to gather some followers and... We never asked for a blood ritual, my guy. Chill. Oh my god, we just want your testimony. Oh, I missed a follow. 3 IRL. Thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I missed that. High speakers down, cultist. Cult suicide crusade. No, Battalion is shutting it down. Like, just chill out. We just want the testimony. Just tell us what you saw when Miss Steelwind was at the Westport balcony yesterday. Oh, I see. If that's what you truly wish, my lord. Are we just going to ignore how ready he was to commit mass murder? Blood for the skilled lord, skulls for the skull throne. The skilled lord doesn't want any of that, though. Be quiet, we just told him to calm down. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to read the rest of this in a moment. I need a moment. I'm refilling my glass and I'm going to refill my bottle, and there will be ads for 3 minutes so we don't have to deal with pre-roll for a while. And then we'll continue, because I just... Yeah. The court is in recess for about 3 minutes, and then we'll continue, because I need I need a moment to recover from this insanity. But yeah, I'll be right back. There will be some ads. Go grab yourself some water and some drinks and foods too. See you in a moment. Okay, I'm back. What did you guys do in my absence? Yeah, I just had to I don't know. What is the predator against now? What would I need to fight in my way towards the water? I had to answer riddles 3 before I could get my water. Took a bit. Last riddle was very difficult. And no ants. Well, congrats to you. Know that you escaped them. You were just too fast. They couldn't get you. Hi back. I know. Good old dad jokes. Any case, let's continue with this rather insane zealot. A slightly larger owl that only speaks in riddles guards the water. Yes. Sometimes it's 2 owls, and one of them speaks the truth and the other one lies. Thanks, it has been a year already and for no ads. Dang! Could you give me that? But yeah. And that's where all my brain power goes to answer the owls with riddles 3, because I really need water. Anyways, let's get to the game. I was doing some paperwork in my quarters, and I suppose I lost track of the time. My alarm went off and I realized that it was time for my afternoon prayers. I don't know. Weird. I began heading to the prayer room when I spotted Lady Steelwind looking over the westport balcony. You ask them the riddles to confuse them while you dip around them to get to the water before they notice. I'm better at riddles than I am. I tried to greet her, but she didn't respond to me. That's when I noticed she was pushing something large over the balcony into Lake Galacrond. I asked her what she was doing, but again, she ignored me and went towards the prayer room. I thought nothing of it and I made my way there as well. That's when the guards there turned me away. Hydration check, posture check. Hello then. I just did just get water so I can take a sip and I'm gonna sit upright. I went back to my quarters to do my prayers there. Considering the timing of it all, this must have all happened minutes before she began attacking the prayer room. Yes, I consider myself lucky. The skilled lord must have graced me with divine luck. Oh, this must be so awkward for Retalian. Like, please, just stop. He's like, I don't have that kind of power. Please stop invoking my name. I'm right here. I'm just a guy. Dragon. It is very painful. Considering how quickly she was moving, there has to be a reason why she waited there. Was she waiting for the High Speaker to leave? Perhaps she should closely examine the timing of these events. I'm the dragon equivalent of working on the checkout at the grocery store. Please stop worshipping me. Natalia is in Spain, but he has a silent. Yeah. An alarm. It's a rudimentary artificery device. I use it to remind me to conduct daily prayers. We must find the holy grocery store. Thanos is like... He's just sitting there doing his dragon job and then like a bunch of humans show up and he's like, oh no. Come on guys. Where I work, really? This is why I hit myself for 500 years. You guys have no chill. I see. And do you have it set to go off at a specific time? Called exterminator, we have it called a human infestation. And they're gonna say that Retalian calls for blood sacrifices or something. Yes, it's set to go off at 2:10 PM, 5 minutes before my afternoon prayers. What was her expression like? It was very cold and emotionless. The patron must have had control for when this happened. Yes, that certainly makes the most sense. Right. What time did this happen? It was shortly after my alarm went off. It would definitely be before 2:15 PM. And that must have been Cybel's body. I suppose so. You don't sound so sure of it yourself. It's just that I recall Lady Cybel's garb to be much brighter. Meanwhile, the thing I saw Lady Stewan throw over the balcony was much darker. Right, you mentioned that before. It's clear it was just a trick of the sunlight. The balcony is directly above where we found Lady Cybel's body in Lake Galacrond. You obviously saw the defendant dumping the body. I think I know what happened. Lady Cybel has a protection spell that covers her in stone and such. He probably saw that. What else could it have been? Yes, I suppose you're right. The patron was probably trying to keep her on track. But I'm surprised she didn't attack you. Even if the patron was trying to frame her, she hadn't killed Pierce yet. Yes, I'm a little confused about that myself. But perhaps I should just be happy I came out of that encounter unharmed. Anyways, how long did you talk to her? Our encounter was very brief, since she was ignoring me. I couldn't have lasted for more than 2 minutes. Right, and these guards are still comatose. It makes you uneasy that you still don't have an explanation for that. Did the Empress of Discord use some kind of demonic magic to do that? The Eye of Horus doesn't leave magical traces, so it's possible that demonic magic is the same. I wonder if the mind control thing is similar to the automaton orders, but they're better. I don't know. I think it might be more direct, like they might be able to see through and just tell them what to do. Either way, it's awfully convenient that he left right before the attack on the prayer room happened. But you suppose you'll have to put a pin in that for now. Anyways, what time did this happen? I believe it was 2:15 PM. That's when I usually arrive at the prayer room. You were in your quarters during the massacre. Yes, as I've mentioned before, my room is magically soundproof. My guards and I were woefully unaware of what was happening. We didn't know what was happening until some members of the King's Guard came to inform me of what happened to the king. Some members of the King's Guard were there with him, and he mentioned that his guards were there too. They can all probably verify this, but it's still a little hard to believe how close he came to harm that day. Anyways, how long were you in your quarters for? I waited there until the King's Guard notified me that it was safe. I think I waited there until 3:15 PM, which was around the time that Arya was arrested. There's a very small time frame between Cybel's death and Arya's attack on the prayer room. The details of his testimony could make a huge difference depending on when each event happened. You should see if he remembers the exact time each part of his testimony occurred. Magic is magic, Dad. What about the science? It's a magic game. It happened before 2:15 PM. Let me check some things. So she died at 2:18. Dude, 30, that's much later. So she's died at 2:18. Yeah. So, hold up. This happened before 2:15. That means Lady Cybele wasn't dead yet at that point. That can't be right. Or can it?
Objection!
Nope, that's not the one. Maybe it's this one.
Objection!
There, it's the one after. Science magic or magic science? In the world where magic is real, it's just another scientific field. True. Wait, what? Is something wrong? There is, but I'm not really sure what it means. Stop stammering and say what you want to say. Hi, speaker, you said that you saw Arya dumping something over the ledge of the balcony. There's no need to be vague, Hubert. It's clear from the evidence that he saw my daughter dumping Lady Cybele's body. That's the thing, Lord Steelwind. It couldn't have been Cybele's body. What are you talking about? The location from the balcony to where we found Lady Cybele's body lines up perfectly. That may be, but the witness just said he saw Arya dumping the body before 2:15 PM. Wait. You see it too, don't you, Lucio? How did Arya dump Coraline Cybele's body in the Lake Galacrons before 2:15 PM? If her time of death was 2:18 PM. She was still alive when she was being dumped. I see. That does seem peculiar. That does seem peculiar. But we know the defendant threw Cybele's body from that balcony. There would be no other explanation for how it ended up there. Yes, that's also true. Perhaps she was still alive when Arya threw her off the balcony. She could have been knocked unconscious with the sleep spell. Your Grace, there were no traces of conjuration magic on her body. She got picked up and just yeeted. And even if she was asleep, that she wouldn't have survived the fall from that height. The distance from the balcony to the lake is more than 30 stories. And the autopsy report says that the cause of death was suffocation, not blunt force. Destroy the child. She's not a child. Right. So when did she die? She died after she hit the water. She must have died after she hit the water. Wasn't the right one, we didn't get a breakthrough, I don't think. But Mr. Hubert, Lucia just said that she would have died upon impact. That's assuming she didn't do anything to lessen the blow. Maybe it was this. She might have had the opportunity to cast a spell to protect herself. That might explain why her body isn't as damaged despite falling from such a great height. She does have a slow falling spell. The murderer channeled power of heat and she fell for 3 minutes.
Objection!
Again, that doesn't match with the evidence. Lady Cybel's spell companion contains the spell Slowfall. If she had the opportunity to cast a spell, she would have used that spell to slow her descent. And she wouldn't have taken any damage from hitting the lake if she'd done that. That's a really good point. But just indulge me for a second. I think she cast this spell. She must have cast Stone Skin on herself. Stone Skin. If you recall, the High Speaker mentioned that something was strange about the object Arya threw over the balcony. It was much darker, and didn't match with Cybel's usual garb. Almost if there was something else Cybel was wearing. That object was actually Lady Cybel protected by a layer of stone. But that still doesn't explain why she would cast that instead of Slowfall. He's right. I think before being thrown into the lake. She cast Stone Skin on herself before she was thrown into the lake. Arya must have attacked her, and she cast that spell in response. That would protect her from Steel Wind Strike. But that doesn't seem quite right. What do you mean? I may not have seen much, but I saw the object Arya dumped was stiff and motionless. If it had been Lady Cybel, she would have been struggling against her, wouldn't she? That's a good point too. The High Speaker saw Arya dumping a motionless Cybel, but if we assume my logic is correct, she would have also still been alive. So why wasn't she struggling against Arya? Whole person. Oh, I think that's just the thing. She was affected by a spell. She must have been affected by a spell. And considering it kept her from resisting Arya, the patron must have made Arya cast that spell on her. Hold person. Hold person. She cast hold person, which means also meant that she couldn't cast another spell. Cheers, game, solving it for you. I guess the game was feeling nice. It was hold creature. Or hold creature, not hold person. Same thing. Cybel must have cast Stone Skin on herself when Arya attacked her. The patron must have known that Arya couldn't physically damage her like that. So they ordered her to restrain Cybel with that spell. And Cybel died by suffocation. Yeah. She was dumped and then sunk because of the stone skin, and she couldn't uncast it because she was being held. She couldn't move. That is gruesome. That's right, Lucio. Even if she was restrained, Cybel was still protected by stone skin. That's 2 fairly grim ways to go. Yeah, I mean 3 fairly grim ways. One suffocated fire, the other one got, like, pierced by their own blood, and I think this one... Yeah. So we have 2 people in a row who died from their own protection spells. Yeah. Karmic justice. That would have left only one option for the patron. Arya, drowned Arya. Cybel drowned in Lake Galakrond. Cybel suffocated when Arya threw her into Lake Galakrond. Her stone skin lessened the impact of the fall, but it also made her drop like a literal rock. Arya's hold creature spell prevented her from moving or releasing her spell. She was helpless as she sank to the bottom of the lake. That is very gruesome though. Like, fully aware that you can't do anything when you're drowning. But I still don't know why Lord Sanctus has sent message. He should have been able to send a message, shouldn't he? I believe that covers all 3 of the murders then. Went out like she pissed off a mob boss. I mean... kinda did. Yes. Lord von Sanctus suffocated to death in his own forest cage. Lady Cybel drowned after Arya cast Hold Creature spell on her. And Lord Pierce died after being wounded by a blade created with shaped liquid. The only common thread I see is that the patron used some of the victims' magics against them. But how does that connect to Pierce? Did he cast shaped liquid to make a blade to defend himself? Maybe the murderer took it from him and used it against him. No, but he was knocked unconscious alongside you. He couldn't have been the one to create that blade. Anyways, whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of each of the spells they used to defend themselves. What if Pierce wasn't actually on the list? What if Pierce was not murdered by Arya at all? What if Celeste was the one? What if Pierce is just an outlier? And Celeste took a revenge in that how many minutes she was alone with two unconscious bodies, one of them was like the literal murderer of her father, that then tried to get her, like, thrown, or actually tried to get her sentenced to death instead of him. And she has shaped liquid. They knew that Von Sanctus couldn't dispel his own force cage. And they also knew that he still needed oxygen from within it. And was the High Speaker the cultist? And in Cybel's case, they knew Arya couldn't physically harm her once she had stone skin active. They also knew that Hold's creature would prevent Cybel from dispelling her own stone skin. Not only that, they did all of this in a quick time frame. Von Sanctus and Cybel died within 13 minutes of each other. And if Arya hadn't encountered Celeste, Pierce might have died just as quickly. So whoever did this had an in-depth knowledge of high-level magic. Not only that, they came up with creative ways to bypass the defense put up by Von Sanctus and Cybel. Yes, they had the ability to react quickly and decisively. It would be pretty stupid, not gonna lie. One thing. But considering the circumstances, that hardly narrows it down. Several members of the Four Pillar families were present that day. Each and every one of them studied at the Imperial Academy. They would all be knowledgeable in magic and its applications. Something they're saying isn't sitting right by you for some reason. There's something there, so why can't you see it? It's no use, you can't piece it together yet. But you're not finished yet. There's another angle to this, considering who the patron did and didn't target. The victims were Lloyd von Sanctus, Coralyn Cybel, and Carrick Pierce. What's the similarity that we can draw between at least two of them? The two of them were murderers. Von Sanctus and Pierce are convicted murderers of the common folk. Celeste is Hubby's literal magic attorney, the truth would come out eventually. Yeah. I don't think she would. On the other hand, she would have the opportunities. But do you mean like convicted murderers that are of the common folk or murdered the common folk? I think it's like they are part of Pillar family. No, they're nobles. Okay, they murdered the common folk. Pierce and Von Sanctus are convicted murderers. That makes sense English-wise as far as I can tell. That way. Okay, but they aren't Pillar families, both. They aren't of a lesser noble house. Okay, well, we could also say that Von Sanctus and Cybel are house leaders of Pillar families. Okay, that was the one. Von Sanctus and Cybel were the heads of their respective noble houses. You're saying the patron's goal was to assassinate leaders of the Four Pillars. That's the motive that makes the most sense. But that does leave one question. Don't be coy, I'm not daft, Cubert. Actually, I highly doubt it was you. Really now. Out of most of the people there, you could have easily tricked your daughter into signing a blood contract. But why would you need to do that? You're the Grand General of Vivengard's military, and the cathedral was filled with your men. You could have easily equipped one of your best mages to carry out this massacre, and you wouldn't even need to make a deal with a demon to do so. So why wasn't Lucio targeted then? From her encounter with Celeste, it's clear that there's a limit to Arya's combat capabilities. The patron might have simply doubted Arya's ability to defeat the Grand General. But there's also another explanation. The patron wanted... Want to frame Ari to make them suffer? Want to frame how Steelwind using Arya to make them suffer. Patron want to frame how Steelwind for the murders, maybe. The patron wanted people to suspect how Steelwind for the murders. They used Lucio, Steelwind's daughter, to commit the crime. Then they intentionally left him alive to cast suspicion on him. That's why they used my daughter. Aw. He's actually upset. He actually cares. Is that a tinge of anger you feel from him? Make them suffer stood out like a sore thumb there. Yeah. Anyways, that leads me to my next point. Imagine if we never discovered Arya's blood contract with the Empress of Discord. What would have happened? We'd still think that Miss Steelwind succumbed to Mageblight. She would have been convicted for the murders, and trust in House Steelwind would have forever diminished. About a month ago, House Fregra lost its head, and his successor, Leigh Fregra, was woefully unprepared to take his place. Now, the heads of House von Sanctus and House Cybele are dead, with House Steelwind being held responsible for it all. All four of the Pillar families would have been weakened as a result of the massacre. But I think there's another layer to this. Everything fits together if we assume that the patron's goal was to weaken the Pillar families. Except for the murder of Garrick Pierce. Yes, in contrast to Cybele and von Sanctus, Pierce's political power pales in comparison. Furthermore, Pierce was already scheduled to be executed next month for the murder of Flintheart McCoy. Why would the patron go to the trouble of murdering a condemned man? Pierce knew the identity. Well, he knew the identity of Celeste's parents, but... would that be it? The patron murdered Pierce because they needed him to die as quickly as possible. Aye, who's Rudolph? Butler. Luna is not accused of being cute. We have multiple witness testimonies. How do you plead? Not guilty. I'll be leaving for lunch with my mom in a few minutes, so I'll wish you a good rest of the stream before I have to go. Alright. Have a good lunch. Bye-bye. The reindeer. No, the butler. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's biological parents. My parents? Do you remember what Pierce said when we showed up for the meeting? Ah, you finally arrived. I suppose this means you finally decided. Wait, you two? We got your letter. Rudolph the butler. Letter? What letter? You sent us a letter, Pierce. It said that you knew who Celeste's parents were. I did send that letter, but not to you two. We weren't the intended recipients of that letter. That's right. So that leaves one last question. Who did... I think the patron, then, right? There's only one person Pierce could have sent that letter to. No, it was the reindeer. Yes, it was the reindeer who poisoned the wine. The person who orchestrated the massacre in the first place. The patron. But that means... the patron is someone who would be threatened by Celeste's parentage. Interesting. Order. Order in the court. But I don't understand. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot to take in. but I think they were targeting you for some reason. Pierce knew the identity of Celeste's parents and attempted to blackmail the patron with this. Instead of complying with Pierce's demands, the patron instead sent the letter to me. But why go through the trouble of luring you there? They could have just allowed Pierce to wait in the prayer room while the defendant made her way to murder him. Looking back on it, it's possible they wanted to kill Celeste too. What? They knew I wouldn't meet with Pierce alone, and the information he had was about her. The patron correctly guessed that I'd bring her with me. By killing both Pierce and Celeste, they'd eliminate any threat Celeste would pose to them. But who would be threatened by such information? The mere existence of McCoy poses a threat to them. It must have something to do with her birthright. Right. So who would that leave? Why are there so many people in this court? Wasn't supposed to be private. Supposedly they're all the nobles that were also at the special, like, church event. The royal family? That would be weird though, wouldn't it? No, it isn't that one. Is it? King Wyverngar just recently died. What if Celeste was a member of the royal family? You think I'm a princess? I don't want to suspect Aster, but we need to consider every possibility. And when it comes to conflicts of inheritance, a royal line of succession is the first thing that comes to mind. Not only that, the king would have the authority to pardon Pierce for his crimes. That wouldn't entirely make sense. What do you mean? If McCoy was abandoned at a tavern in Cornhaven, we must assume she's a bastard child. Okay, I don't know why I have to bring that up. My point is that King Olivier wouldn't abandon a child of pure royal blood. Imagine if that click noise for this part just to fuck with the players. They might. I don't know. Last time I was on the right track, we didn't get the clicky either. The kingdom requires heirs to continue the royal bloodline. He would have leveraged her in a diplomatic marriage. That's disgusting. That's diplomacy, Hubert. Anyway, even if McCoy was of royal blood, Aster is the king's eldest child. And he's of pure royal blood. McCoy would have no claim to the throne under these circumstances. Right, I see what you mean. I suppose that eliminates Aster for now. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first. Okay, so it wasn't this one. So who would that leave? House Freydra? I don't know. Eyes? The eye taker isn't of nobility. That wouldn't make any sense. I recall during Beatrice Fregra's trial, we heard William Fregra's last will and testament. It mentioned that House Fregra's assets would be divided evenly between all of his children. If McCoy were to be revealed as a Fregra, his daughters would be legally obligated to share the estate with her. Could I seriously be a Fregra? Didn't Era say something about his bloodline when she sicked them up on him? Yeah, that she owned his bloodline, but she also said that his daughter was there and saw what happened. And his hair color is completely different, whilst the Fregras all have light-colored hair. I don't want to suspect Leif or Miriam, but we need to consider every possibility. And as we've seen, the Fregras are no stranger to making deals with demons. But it still doesn't quite fit. I doubt Leif or Miriam would do something like this. What are you basing that on? I tend to be a good judge of character, and it just don't seem like the time to do something like this. You're far too trusting. I hold no doubt that any of William's children would be capable of something like this. I suppose we'll have to see. Anyways, we should consider the other suspects first. So who would that leave? Well, are we just gonna go through every one of them? Let's keep House Steelwind for last. Let's go for the Eye Taker first. What if the Eye Taker orchestrated this whole thing? It's gonna kick off about this. Yeah, exactly. Let's just try the other thing first. The Eye Taker, that common criminal. What reason could he have to do this? I've heard firsthand that he was planning to expand his influence throughout Withengard. Was actually plotting with Beatrice to use House Freydra to do so. Since I ruined his original plan, setting up that massacre might have been his backup plan. Perhaps we were looking at this all wrong. What if Celeste was a part of the royal family and they were planning to use her to take the throne? But if he wanted to do so, why would he put McCoy in danger by having my daughter attack her? Not only that, he also had the perfect opportunity to murder His Majesty. Imagine if he had placed a more lethal contingent spell in that cliff of contingency. His Majesty might have very well died alongside Von Sanctus, Cybele, and Pierce. Yeah, I suppose you're right. But we need to consider every possibility. Anyway, we should consider the other suspects first. So who would that leave? As much as I have my doubts, House Stewart is the only Pillar family whose house leader survived the past month. You think I'm McCoy's biological father? That would... I mean, you do have both white hair, but that would... And she would somehow have inherited the fighting prowess, but it would be really awkward. You're barely a father to your actual daughter. I'm only stating that possibility for the sake of argument. As I've said, it wouldn't make sense for you to frame your own daughter when House Steelwind would be blamed. I mean, he's ancient, his hair lost its color, and we see Arya has black hair. Yeah, exactly. It isn't the right hair color. But we need to consider every possibility. But I can't think of anyone else. Yes, there's a flaw with each suspect. Your logic is clearly flawed. Well, you don't see him coming up with any ideas. There's something here I'm not seeing, but I know I'm close. There's a missing piece that ties this all together. Lucio's is kind of all, yeah. Regardless, we still have no idea who this Empress of Discord is. I am loath to allow such an individual to walk freely through Withengard. Your Grace, you've been alive since the creation of Withengard and magic. Do you know who this demon is? He's in his mid-70s with all the hair, he should be grateful. He's just got strong hair. I can't say I do. Demons tend to take on many titles over their lifetimes. But whoever this Empress is, they are brave to so blatantly encroach on my domain like this. Well, I suppose we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there. We've obtained a lot of information today, but we clearly have many questions that need to be answered. How should we proceed? What is it, Mr. Qbert? I can't help but feel that there's something here I'm not seeing. I just can't put my finger on it. We have been working at this for quite a while. Perhaps we should suspend proceedings so we can look into these new leads. I have no objections. I would give my men some time to look into what we've discovered today. Oh, it double-clicked. I didn't mean to. Can we go back? We can't go back. And it's settled. We'll be postponing proceedings for now. But you'll all be expected to return here by tomorrow morning. You're all free to return to your homes for the time being. No, actually, no, I can't go back. I don't know what he said. I really need to get a new mouse. I haven't had the time to look into it. And I don't want to. I like the way this mouse feels in my hand. And it's fine in the beginning, but I don't want to have to replace it every single year. Or 2 years. Actually, maybe 3 years. Time goes too fast. No, I can't use my keyboard. Maybe in controls it says a thing. Okay, wait, space. I can use space. Is there a going back? No. But I can use space. But make no mistake, the Kingsguard will be keeping careful watch over all of you. No leaking the info about the dragon. There's still this constant nagging sensation in the back of your mind. Hey, Tarion? It's as if you've forgotten something extremely important. Maybe Eris did mess something up. Tarion? What is it? What could be so important yet so difficult to remember? Tarion! Sorry. I was just thinking about everything. You're looking really stressed out. Do you want to head back to your house to rest? No, we only have a day until the trial resumes. If you can't figure out what happened after tomorrow, the magical traces will dissipate. But you already know what happened. You just don't know who did it. Yeah, but we should speak with the suspects again. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll see something through the Eye of Horus. But one of the suspects is the Eye Taker. What are you going to do about him? I suppose I'll have to speak with him too. What? No! What if he tries to kill you again? Aria's life is on the line. That's just a risk I'll have to take. Tyrion, do you even understand what you've been pulled into? What? Someone just murdered a bunch of nobles, and they even attacked members of the royal family. I'll have to piece his body back together. He doesn't know that. Thank you for the follow, Boldfi. I appreciate it. Now there are an ancient dragons and the demon lords involved too. Isn't this above your pay grade? Yeah, he got kind of Eris made everyone around him believe that they've been wanting to murder him, so he kind of got ripped up by just a angry mob. I don't get paid, so I'm not sure. Ouch. You know that's not what I meant. It's just this whole thing is crazy, isn't it? It's fine. It's just like any other of our investigations. It's not, though. What if the Empress of Discord attacks you? What if the patron decides that you're getting too close to the truth? What if I can't? Her voice begins to break. Celeste? Are you still worried about what happened during the massacre? You could have very well died, so which is fair. Well, if he gets paid 0, then it's for sure above his pay grade. Who? I love that one. Thank you very, very much for playing my favorite and only owl joke I know. Truth and Justice is my pay, Tyrion probably, I don't know. Yeah, I mean... It was a reindeer. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get paid for this. He probably will. I mean, he's defending Arya. She has money. I'm fine. I already told you that I didn't do anything wrong. That you didn't do anything wrong. You almost died, Tyrion. I know. Tyrion, you almost died. I know, Celeste. No, Tyrion, I don't think you do. Do you have any idea how worried I was when she broke past me? When I saw you all lying on the floor, So many things are going through my mind. I don't know what I would have done if you were... She can't even complete that sentence. Celeste, You were so focused on everything else that you've been ignoring her. She was attacked by Arya and almost died. You never even thought about how traumatic that must have been for her. I'm sorry. I didn't think... Don't apologize. Just please. Please, just leave this to Lucio and the Skilled Lord. You've done enough already. They can figure the rest of it out. Too much drama. No, she cares about him a lot, and he almost died. And what if it's not enough? I'm not so arrogant to think that they can't do it without me. But what if they can't figure out who the patron is? Arya will spend the rest of her life in prison. What if I could have done something to prevent that? Hydration check. Hi, Sil. Man is denser than selenium. He's just too focused on getting the truths. I don't care if that happens. Celeste! I don't care, Tyrion. I'll apologize to her all you want after this. But all I want is to keep you safe. And I don't know if I'm able to do that anymore. Even she seems surprised at what she said. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm really happy you're a part of my life. What? I know what you're saying is coming from a place of care. And I'm really sorry about how much I've been worrying you lately, but... You're not going to stop, are you? It's like I've always said. Man, king, or god, nothing will stop you from getting justice for your clients. As someone who's escaped death by sheer luck a few times, you get used to the feeling. Like, yeah, I almost died, but tomorrow is another day. Oof. I'm going to talk to Lucio. What? If we're going to meet the Eye Taker again, we're bringing some knights with us. Celeste, that's hardly... Nope, you don't get a say in this. And if you're not here when I get back, I will find you. Judging from her expression, it's not an empty threat. Fine, just go. That failed to take me on this day, and I'm going to make this everyone's problem. She might have a point though. Before everything happened, you weren't even sure if you wanted to continue being an attorney. Maybe you should consider a safer, quieter life after this is all done. Perhaps a life with her. Wait, what? Alright, Lucius cleared it. It was surprisingly easy to convince him. Oh, I like them. They're cute together. If this is a 90s drama, apparently I'm into 90s dramas. Who knew? Are you okay? Saxophone coming in, saving the day. I'm fine. Let's not waste any more time. Before she has a chance to respond, you hastily walk past her. Hey, don't walk so far ahead. Dad failed to take me, and he's quite upset about it. You need to stay focused on the trial for Aria's sake. But when this is all over, you'll... Well, you suppose you don't have to think about that until then. He likes her. And me like that. They're cute. It's about time he realized that he likes her. Ooh. Ooh. Well, you look at that. I think we have another... This is where the background budget went. Look at all that. I hope I'm not in a Final Destination situation. I never watched that movie. But I hope so too, because I don't think it's good for the thing. Look at that. Look at all that. It's cool. It's really cool. That must have taken a lot of time. Using the Kingsguard teleportation network, you arrive back in Ratholm. Due to Celeste's insistence, you're being escorted by a division of the Kingsguard. They definitely make you look out of place. No, the Dead Science Gate were mostly pretty ordinary. It's almost as beautiful as you do. No! The libel. Stop, cease, bad. As you walk through the city, you draw strange looks from nearly everyone who sees you. Sir, where will we be heading first? Oh, it's a little strange giving orders to knights. It's definitely going to take some getting used to. What's wrong? There's definitely something I'm fundamentally missing. What? Just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Dankton is in Luna with the counter. No. Yeah, I'll try to pace myself. Anyways, we should speak with each of the suspects and confirm their alibis. I only speak the truth. No, you don't, because I'm not. Time counting. No, seize. Also, I don't like using this space bar. I have to hold my arm at a weird angle because of how I have to sit for the mic. Just want to use my mouse. Just hope it doesn't double click too often. That might help me finally put things together. Like, I almost died of drowning twice, almost broke my neck as a child. The most exciting was almost a car crash and avoided a few. Yikes. Kaino, you okay? Your guardian angel sounds like they're working overtime. So mouse of side buttons, could you bind to that? I use my sound buttons to mute and unmute myself. That's why I like this mouse so much. Each of the nobles has returned to their respective homes. But our teleportation network should help you travel around Vivengard. I want to examine this fancy background first. It's the city courthouse. Every trial I've been part of has been held in this building. Oh. Excluding the current trial, obviously. I can see several commoner houses from here. If I squint really hard, I can probably see my house from here. It's a shop selling various wares. The items they sell are more suited for adventurers, so I've never really gone there myself. There's a great view of the city from this ledge. I frequently go there whenever I need to think something over.
Repario Arcanum!
Just in case. Dennis playing gacha game with Kaino as the round dropping keeps failing 50-50. Like I said, after the first two narrow escapes from dead, you kind of grow numb to that. I don't think that's a good sign, but just take care. Okay, we're first gonna go here. I plan to not die though. Yeah, please keep that up. You arrive back at the Grand Cathedral of the Skilled Lord. You probably won't need to investigate the crime scenes again, but you wonder if Aster or Lucio might be here. Sir, I've spoken with the groundskeeper. His Majesty and the Grand General are currently visiting Lady Steelwind, but supposedly they'll be here later today to talk to the High Speaker. Alright, I suppose we'll just have to come back later. You arrive at Fregra Manor, hoping to speak with Leif and Miriam. After some asking around, one of the servants mentioned that they appear to be entertaining guests in the study. You normally wouldn't interrupt them, but you've already eaten up a lot of time traveling here. Whatever they are discussing can wait. Arf, 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 arf. As you enter the study, Tracker runs up to you and begins barking. But once he sees who you are, he calms down. Good doggo. Hi, I'm Dad. You're Dad? Sorry, I can't hear you, I'm Dad. I'm effectively immortal until proven otherwise. Yeah, that's me. Lightly. Oh, hello, friends. Sorry for Borks. Tracker thought smells something bad. Oh, Mr. Hubert. You scan the room and see that Miriam is there too. And they appear to be speaking with Lord Asclepius. His name is difficult. Puppy. Sorry for barging in, Leif. No, it's no problem at all. Her emotions imply that she already knows why you're here. I'll skip the pleasantries. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about what happened? He looks like someone would have that name. Yeah, name fits. Of course, I'll do anything to help with Lady Steelwind's situation. Should I leave? No, you were here. You were there with me when everything happened. And your testimony will substantiate my alibi. Ooh. He did not like. Okay, first, I'm gonna do some looking. Still getting used to it. This chair always felt too big for me. It's a window with a view of the outside. Fireplace. Various books about economics and political theory. Looks like they haven't been disturbed since Beatrice's trial. I've been meaning to put those away, but I still feel uneasy about disturbing my father's books. Aww. It's a bookshelf, and was filled with fake books the last time we were here. Some of the books are actually real this time. Oh, she's been starting to use the bookshelf like a bookshelf. And then we have the painting. It's a painting of a man with a dog. That's David Ding, from House Ding. They're one of the branch families of House Fregra. He was a dog breeder with a bit of an obsession with the dogs he owned. As someone with a canine familiar, I feel a sort of kinship with him. Tracker-like fellow dog. He looks like the loyal type. You're not exactly sure how he's inferring that, but you suppose you can't disagree with him. Same alibi and same room then. Just a casual... And just checking. Leif, I'm sure you know why I'm here. How convenient. But I just want to preface this by saying that I highly doubt you were behind this. No, I perfectly understand. Frankly, I'm also at a loss. I have no idea who did this. What are you talking about? It was clearly that criminal, the Eye Taker. Huh. Why don't you go interrogate him? Make no mistake, we fully intend to. But I'd like to cover everyone else before I confront him. Let him be, Miriam. But it's his fault that Beatrice is... Our sister knew what she was doing when she gave her testimony. Don't insult her bravery by blaming Mr. Hubert for what happened. What? Anyways, Mr. Hubert has shown many times that he's acting in good faith. And he's capable of convicting the criminals that even we can't see. Poor Miriam and Leif. You mentioned Beatrice before. Did something happen? It happened right after she gave her testimony this morning. She fell unconscious shortly after she left the Skilled Lord's lair. Having encountered that so many times does give perspective though. That can come suddenly and without warning. Life is dangerous and there's only two ways of dealing with that. Sheltering yourself in or cherishing the life you have and be grateful for every second of it. Yeah. Though it still seems like a very uncomfortable experience. Like, that isn't easy to deal with. She hasn't woken up since then, and Runat has gone missing. Eris is trying to keep her silent, I guess. What? It must have been the Empress of Discord. After you manifested Lady Stewen's blood contract, we all realized why she was acting so strangely. Right. If it weren't for her, I would have never considered trying to issue a divine edict. She sacrificed herself to save Lady Steelwind. It seems our esteemed sister put her trust in you, Commoner. Oh, she's masking with being royal. No, poor baby. It's okay. You don't need to pretend. So we will do the same. If there's anything we can do to help you, please ask. I'll live with it. You better live. I don't think she's keeping her silent. I think she's taking what she was owed. No, I think she's keeping her silent. Because she... yeah, I appreciate your trust. All of you. But I have to ask, where were you all between 2 PM and 3 PM that day? I says Leif to Sus. Nah. Luckily, we were all together. Me, Leif, Miriam, Beatrice, and her friend, we were all in the garden before 2 PM. But around 2 PM, my sister and Miss Ilmaner both went missing. I can't believe we trusted her to take care of our sister. Hush now, Miriam. If the Empress of Discord took control of her, there was hardly anything Miss Ilmaner could do to stop it. I really do hope she's okay. She's been missing since the massacre. You mentioned that you all went to search for her. Did you see anything? No, we were originally planning to search the cathedral grounds. But when we arrived at Nave, we found Aster trapped in a force cage. Did any of you lose track of each other during that time? No, we stayed together for the entire time. But we did consider splitting up to cover more ground. But the Kingsguard found us and asked us to stay where we were. Right, I suppose that makes sense. And did you see Eris at all when this happened? No, we never saw her. She went missing at the same time that Beatrice did. That's really suspicious. You don't think... It's definitely possible she was involved in this somehow. Luckily, and how luckily she is only the one to speak most. Well, she is the house leader now. Not to mention, the Eye Taker is one of our suspects, and she is his daughter. She's his what? You didn't know? I'd have thought that Beatrice would have told you. No, she didn't mention that at all. It looks like Eris had a lot to answer for. If you can even find her, that is. I suppose I'll stop beating around the bush. Have any of you made a blood contract with a demon lately? Just casually. How dare you! This arrogant little peasant. No, I understand where he's coming from. I want to understand, but the very idea is infuriating. Of everyone present, our sister was the only person with known ties to a demon. If she were to share that secret with anyone, it would have been with us. You didn't catch any incriminating thoughts from them through the eye, but you've been misled by it before. Nevertheless, we still have no idea who the patron is. I was actually meaning to ask you during the trial. Can't you just use this divine edict of yours to figure out who the patron is? No, to manifest the blood contract I need the title of the demon and the name of the human they made the contract with. I understand that, but why not just brute force it? What? During the king's funeral, the Kingsguard has detailed lists of everyone who was present during the massacre. Whoever this patron is, they were working together with the Empress of Discord. That must mean they made a blood contract with her, yes? That's right. I could just keep issuing divine edicts until a blood contract appears. Wait, is that safe? There's only one way to find out. Sad face, but angry? Angry feelings, but sad looking. Luna cute? How dare I? You dared yourself. How dare. Also, hi, Ruru, how's you? I hope you're well, but I'm all cute. Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't think this is gonna go well. You take out your notes and begin looking at your list of suspects. You might be at this for a while, so you might as well go in alphabetical order. You clear your throat in preparation. Empress of Discord, wherever you may hide. Release thy guard and manifest your blood contract with Aster the Wyvern Guard. Oh. Yeah, that wasn't... Look at that chromatic aberration. I still want to know how I can do that in my own drawings. I don't have a good way of doing that in Psy. Rip. Byron? What's wrong? You collapse to the ground as you suddenly find yourself overcome in immense pain. What? What's happening to him? Lazaric, use your magic to heal him. Right. Oh, you silly, silly boy. You may be half human, but you can't just go around declaring lies like that. What? And I was really looking forward to bringing you to the end of this. I haven't even started to have my fun yet. Who are you? Actually, I suppose that contract is still in effect. I guess my hands are tied. I'll save you. Just this once. Rion? Tyrion, please wake up. Celeste? He died. He just straight up went to the other side for a moment. You're okay. You most certainly don't feel okay. You can feel every part of your body aching. It's painful for you to even sit up like this. Are you okay, friend? Yeah. What happened? You died. Just... No beating around the bush. You perished. What? I've never brought anyone back from something like that. Yeah, I'm glad the most powerful healer in the realm was there. That was my strongest spell too. You have no idea how lucky you are. Yeah, the game is named after Lazarus. Yeah. If I wasn't here, who knows what might have happened. I don't understand. The last thing I remember was issuing my divine edict. Wait, was that the cause? But I've done it before without any problems. I just used it this morning. Why did the divine edict harm you? Well, Aster does not have a blood contract. It might be because Aster doesn't have a blood contract with the Empress. If demons are unable to lie, the same might hold true for angels as well. The divine edict must be some sort of divine power, so asking for a blood contract that doesn't exist might be considered a lie. Sorry, it's my fault for suggesting it. No, I was being reckless. Please be more careful. I feel kinship with Tyron right now. I don't think my heart can take this. Poor Celeste. Well, at least we know Aster didn't do this. That was the most obvious one. Either way, you should still make note of this. Aster the Wyvern Guard has no blood contract with the Empress of Discord. Obviously. Anyways, it's clear that I can't just brute force this. I'll just have to wait until I'm certain of the patron's identity. Just please be careful. Anyways, it looks like you found everything you can here. Perhaps you should move somewhere else. Before we do, hey, I'd like your thoughts on, who do I want your thoughts on? Do you have anything for this? Have you ever seen this symbol before? No, I can't say I have. Me neither. I think I've seen it all at the Imperial Academy before. What? Where? It was scratched onto the desk in the Imperial Library. But it was only there for a day. The faculty probably noticed and removed it. Well that's hardly points you to any direction. Welcome to Family of Dead. To be fair, at least it was good he tried in the presence of the best healer in the realm. Whoever it was that spoke to you was watching. At least I spread out my near-death experiences and I don't concentrate them within a few months. Yeah, Tyrion has been doing them back to back to back. Hey, can I have you guys' thoughts on the whole Retalian situation? Oh, nothing. I wanted to know your thoughts on the dragon. Nope. Okay, thoughts on me. I want to know the thing. I envy your bravery, Mr. Kubert. If the face of demons and dragons, you still seem quite calm. Regardless of who's involved, this is the same as any other trial. Man, king or ghoul, I'll save Arya, no matter what it takes. Tyron is gonna experience a truckload of trauma when he finally gets a break. Yeah, he already was in bed for like a month after the last trial. Dude has aged several years at the age of 20. Yeah, he's been through it already. Oh, hydration. Thoughts on Arya? Thank you. I can't believe someone did this to Arya. I've had enough of these demons. They just violate violate the wills of those they've enslaved. It's absolutely abhorrent. No matter what happens, I'll save her from this fate. For everyone's sake, I hope you're right. Thoughts on Eris? I wasn't sure what to make of Miss Ilmater at first, but she was a friend to Beatrice during those 5 years, so I wanted to trust her. But you don't. She attends the academy, isn't that right, Miriam? Yeah, but I never really got close to her. She has a reputation for doing things to people. I was always too scared to approach her. I see. As much as I hate to admit it, I feel the same. Yeah, she got bad vibes for good reason. Hey, let's see. Anything else that is interesting? No, doubt that you would have any thoughts on that. Any thoughts on Lucio? No. Any thoughts on Berlin? No. Posture check. The cultist. You want thoughts on Arceus? I don't think they have anything else. Let's move. So this would be the next one. My finger joints are angry. Why are your finger joints angry? Self-preservation instinct kicking in there, yeah. You arrive back at the Grand Cathedral. Like, the only one who doesn't seem to feel this Tyrion. Everyone else is uneasy around there. It's like, Tyrion, please. Hopefully, Aster and Lucia are back by now. Oh, Mr. Qbert. As you enter, you're approached by Aster, Alaric, and Lucio. How's your investigation? Are you okay? You look quite pale. Yeah, I died. But I got better. Yeah, there was a bit of an accident earlier. You're a little too embarrassed to admit that you almost ended up dying. I just accidentally nearly. Just... He's being... Well, try to exude more caution next time. It'd be dishonorable if you didn't fall by my hand. Why is everything you say so aggressive? Anyways, you finally have your next suspect here. But judging from the evidence you've gathered, it's very unlikely that Aster is the patron. You do wonder if he saw something though. Yeah, I died and it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, it's an embarrassing way to die, to be like, yeah, divine edict. Oh, I was wrong and I just died. It's the king. Why are you looking at me like that, Qbert? Oh, sorry. After he attacked you in Fragrant Manor, you've always been a little wary of him. If it weren't for Celeste's reflexes, he might have very well killed you that day. I'm not going to attack you again. You better not even try. Oh, Tyrion, you look like that. Thanks. I did. I hope you can understand my uneasiness. You did almost kill me the first time we met. What? Aster's like, no! How could you? I need to read in the paper what he did next. It's like the only source of joy I have. The best detective series I ever read. What do you mean it's real? That's not... It's because you're a Heavensborn. Wait, you knew? What? What does me being a Heavensborn have to do with this? It also seemed like we got spared by the Empress. Yeah, but she has indicated before she doesn't want Tyrion dead yet. It's difficult to explain to someone like you. But warriors such as I hone and develop our senses to survive in battle. Eventually, we develop the ability to sense hidden enemies and anticipate danger. I'd heard that such senses are heightened when in the presence of extraplanar entities. Until I met you and Beatrice Fragra's familiar, I thought those stories were complete nonsense. Me and Maruna? As a Heavensborn, your blood is said to originate from the heavens. She wants Tyrion to suffer because she wants to feel what it feels like for an angel to suffer. Yeah, even though he's only, like, he has it in his blood, but he's not an angel. Hi Luna, have you successfully convicted corrupt popes yet? No, but he did nearly start a blood sacrifice when he saw his dragon overlord. Also, hello Ice. Welcome to the stream, I hope you're well. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I believe in the existence of older planes. but I admit that I still feel a certain aura from you that doesn't quite feel quite human. So that's why you attacked me. I was exuding a threatening aura? It was actually the opposite. Your aura was too calming and benign. I thought it must be some kind of trick or illusion. I see, that's quite an astounding ability. What about you, McCoy? What? Did you not sense a similar aura when you first met him? Is that true? Well... Wow, there's really a big carriage outside. I wonder who it belongs to. Oh, there's someone inside the inn too. Is that guy visiting my dad? Now that I get a good look at him, he's kind of cute. Yeah. I was kind of similar. For some reason, you feel a little embarrassed. She wants to tap that. She likes him. Just like she felt threatened by Eris. Eris has bad vibes. Aster, I'm sure you know why I'm here. It's... You shouldn't be excited about this, buddy. It's because I'm one of your suspects, isn't it? Your Majesty, you're the reigning king of Wyvern. I expect you to conduct yourself with more dignity. Oh, of course. My apologies, Lord Steelwind. Let the guy fanboy. He's gone through enough. Anyways, questioning you is honestly a formality at this point. Really? A lot of the evidence works in your favor. He doesn't have a blood contract with the Empress after all. Well, I appreciate your vote of confidence nonetheless. Lucio, have you made any headway figuring out who set that trap for Aster? Lucio will remember this. Yeah. Man is more hyped than I am for AC6. Yeah, he really likes Tyrion. It's super adorable. No, I haven't. It makes me uneasy that you let someone get that close to my father's body. Yes, I can't begin to apologize for my men's incompetence. If they were more vigilant, perhaps we could have avoided this whole tragedy entirely. So your men were guarding the late king's coffin? Yes, there wasn't a single moment when his body was left unguarded. We found traces of illusion magic at the location of the force cage. Although, we were still not sure about who could have set that trap. There are also members of the King's Guard that can cast both force cage and Cliff of Contingency. And many of them fell comatose during the massacre. So we don't even know if one of them betrayed us. Do you think my men are that weak, Your Majesty? I think anyone can be made weak when put through enough stress. Regardless, we have no way of telling who may have been guarding the coffin when the trap was set. To be honest, I think a prequel game to this where you and are Ruby acting as a journey and seeing how she got to where she is while she was younger would go hard. True, but I don't think Ruby actually won many cases, and Ruby kind of used blackmail and such. So you'd have to kind of play the villain in a way. And you'd also know where she ended up with some cases. It might be hard to make a prequel for that, though it would be cool. Though I'd be more interested in a sequel. Oh, 1 second. Apologies. Shall we start the blood sacrifice for this skill? No, stop it. Retalian doesn't even want that. Cease this now. This means that we have no way of telling when that Cliff of Contingency was set. We'll have to see where it goes when this game ends for a sequel. Yeah, I do hope there's more though. I'm really loving this. I was actually meaning to ask about that. Couldn't we wait for the 48 hours to elapse? If we make note of the exact time the traces of invocation disappear, we can work backwards to discern the exact time the trap was set. Well, normally we could. When the spell's activated, I unfortunately panicked and cast a fireball to try to destroy it. Of course, it didn't even put a dent in the force cage. Because of that, he left traces of evocation at the exact location of the Cliff of Contingency. We can't discern which traces were left by the patron's Cliff of Contingency or His Majesty's Firebolt. I'm terribly sorry about that. I mean, understandably you panicked when suddenly you were trapped. You can't blame him for reacting like that, but it's going to make figuring out who did this that much more difficult. If the skilled lord doesn't want to worship, perhaps the King in Yellow will accept it. He's one of us. Who? I heard you two visit Arya earlier today. How is she doing? I think she's doing the best she can, all things considered. No thanks to you. What? She's only in this situation because of you. Dang, Lucio. Lucio, that's not me. You're the one who is heartlessly prosecuting her. Oh. Oh, damn. She's far too weak for this. If that's what you truly think of her, you're grossly misunderstanding the kind of person that she is. She defied the role you tried to force onto her, and she instead dedicated herself to fixing our broken kingdom. Ever since this started, all you've done is insult her. But you know nothing about her, and she is far stronger than you realize. Despite her lineage, she's always carved her own path and pursued her own justice. Her own path. Oh, it wasn't her own path, was it? Her mother was an attorney, wasn't she? Not that king. The King in Yellow is much more than any mere mortal. Yeah, I think I heard of him. She only became a prosecutor because of His Majesty. Oh? I don't like how he's holding that axe. What are you talking about? She became a prosecutor to fix our corrupt justice system from the inside. And who do you think put those ideas into her mind? If she wanted to fix our justice system, she could easily have done so by slowly weakening House Cybel's influence. But she knew about your strange idolization of Ruby Tamora. And she knew how closely you follow each and every one of her cases. Wait, he's a fan of Ruby? Huh. I know why she became a prosecutor. She thought that if she became like your idol and defeated her, you might finally notice her. Yeah, he knows more about his daughter than we gave him credit for. You're wrong, Lucio. Arya Steelwind would never care about me that much. No, you're dense, buddy, pal, friendo. He's a prick, but he's not ignorant. Yeah, but seriously, Aster, he cares about you a lot. Are you seriously that dense? Yes, he is. Unspeakable one, Aster. I just said his name. Take that. We shall answer our prayers if we just make the right sacrifices. I doubt that. You dense mother father. When you were still engaged to Lady Freykra, you flaunted your relationship in front of my daughter with no regard for her feelings. I remember each and every time I heard her silently crying in her quarters because of how oblivious you are. Oh, he cares! He cares so much! Oh. I like it when he cares about his daughter. It's like, you nitwit. The unspeakable one, the King in Yellow, him who is not to be named. A Saturn, Xastus, Hastra, Kaiwan. She's changed every part of herself in order to please you. Is he getting angry on her behalf? Oh, he is. I had no idea. My daughter is far stronger than any of us, but she's weak when it comes to you. Oh. Lucio, there's no point in fighting amongst ourselves. Please stay focused on the investigation. It seems that he cares for Arya a lot more than you realized. No, I knew he cares. He cares, but he's also a man of duty. Lucio is quite close to just grab him by the collar and just shaking him senseless. He's like... He's this close to being like, treason it is! Eruit. I'm not gonna read the last bit, because that's just gonna sound bad in English. And yeah, it shows that his feelings are genuine. But then why is he doing everything he can to convict her? Read between the flipping lines, you tosspot. The mood is a little tense. Just a little. I must ask you, Hubert, why are you going to such lengths for my daughter? What do you mean? Surely you understand the gravity of the situation. By taking part in this trial, you risk throwing the ire of both the nobility and whoever this Empress of Discord is. What are you planning? Lucio, I'm not planning anything. Please, do you honestly expect me to believe that you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart? Well, actually, yes. Skilled Lord, you actually are doing it for that reason. Is this what all Heavensborn are like? I don't like thinking about it that way. I just can't stand by while I see injustice taking place. Even if you're standing in my way, I'll do whatever it takes to save Arya. My daughter's dying of heartache, you fucking notice. I wouldn't throw around such promises so loosely. I will save her, Lucio. Anyways, it appears that you still have no idea who set that trap for Aster. Judging from the spell companions you have, neither Arya nor Beatrice could have set that trap. But the patron could also be a mage. That means that they could have set that trap too. Either way, it looks like you won't be getting any new information here. And you highly doubt the person who orchestrated this is any of the people you've met thus far. I can't believe I'm letting my daughter marry a dumbass like you. She has both of you scrawled all over a room and you're still denser than a stone wall. Heavensborn are paracons. Or maybe, just maybe, that's just how Tyrion is. And being a Heavensborn is just a coincidence. There's one last person you need to talk to. But I have to go lunch. And I think before we talk to that next person, this might be a good stopping place, because that next person is probably gonna be quite a long conversation also. So we're going to save here. Luna lunch break time, yes. And we're gonna go to the desktop. And what about worshipping a half human, half dragon, half squid? Isn't that one half too many? In any case, I think that's done. I suggest you guys go get yourself some food, get some water, stretch the leggies, all that jazz too. And I'll see you all after the lunch break. So for now, bye bye. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll see you all later.